What's going on, Tom? How you doing, bro?
Hey, what's up, man? How's everything going?
Yeah, I had a message. I had loads of messages about the last combat class that he did, and one of them came from Dominic D'Angelo. He is the co-host of Rob Van Dam's podcast, and
Oh,
he was going, "Oh, the stuff they did. Tom is really sick," and he was watching the
oh, awesome.
podcast. Yeah, some other people messaged as well. So yeah, people are really enjoying it. So, needless to say, expectations are high for your roster
You know
that
who
you have
didn't
today.
watch it? Anyone at NetherRealm.
You never know. You never know. I speak to
No, they
some
don't
people
care.
in the industry, and like they tell me that people watch, but they don't say anything.
No, they don't care, man. They only watch Monger. You know?
Well, enough about that guy. He's driven me mad for the past week. How have you been, though?
I've been good, man. I've been really good. Uh, I thought about releasing a video to my fans, as I was reflecting on like everything in the FGC, because people are always like, Tom, why are you so down on the FGC? And I think, a lot of it was in my past life, we the way we see things in our mind, sometimes the reality of it is tough to deal with.
Mm.
You know, um, and instead of feeling grateful for the time, most people they look at some of the very top of the top. And even if you look at like my MK9 window where I was on podcasts and doing tier lists and people actually cared about what I said, most people don't even experience that for a minute.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, I had my time and but instead of being grateful, like in my mind, I thought I'm going to transition to the land of opportunity now. You know what I mean? You're like, oh, I'm this legendary player. People are going to want to watch me play. I'll stream. And then you realize nobody cares. Just the name of the world, right? The world keeps moving on. Like John Cena said, right? You
Mm.
know, you're done. Nobody cares. It's over. Oh, my stream is gonna have nobody cares. Move on. You're like, I'm like, oh, I'm so entertaining, man. I'm gonna have no, you're not that entertaining. you know, it's like, like I'm not an entertainer. You know what I'm saying? So you're like, hey, I thinking I'm gonna break into streaming and YouTubing, and it's like I'm actually not an entertainer,
Hmm.
which is, what, even as a commentator, like, oh my God, I'm gonna get commentary. I know I'm this sick commentator in my mind, and it's like, spoiler, you're not that good. Like it, and when you get slapped with that, you're like, so what do? You take it out on your fans, right? So I want to
Hmm.
apologize to all of them for that. You know, it's
No, I
just
think that's
in that
cool.
moment, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think I've interacted with a lot of different people now, and I think people like even we had C4 on yesterday because he had a disagreement with Chad the Third, and they were like sort of having it out, and
mhm,
like his perception was, oh, people don't like me around here or whatever, and
mhm,
which couldn't be further from the truth. Like he's a big part of why the channel is even successful. So I
yeah,
think sometimes people hyper focus on negative things, like the stuff that I did with Ernesto recently and about like the whole Roofermonger thing. There was some negative comments in there, but like my mind was already at, I don't care if there's negative comments. I've come in here to say something. I'm going to say what I have to say, and then people are free to decide what they want to, how they want to take it. So I
yeah.
just don't
I
don't
guess for
focus on
me, I didn't focus on, even though there were a small audience, no one has to care about what I say or do. So even if one person does, like that's better than the next guy. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
instead of being grateful for that, I'm like, but in my head, I'm this great, knowledgeable commentator. Why aren't I? And it's like, you're not. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't be appreciative to the ones who do enjoy it, you know? And
Yeah.
that's kind of, but it was tough for me to deal with, like, wow, I thought I was this great. No, but instead of appreciating those that were there for it, I almost, was going to be a real dick to them because, like, well, why aren't I? Yada, yada, yada. And it's like, I guess, as fans, they're like, well, we enjoy it. And it's like a nice way of saying, because you're just not on that level of that for that as a commentator, as an entertainer, whatever. But we still enjoy it. And instead of thanking them and enjoying them, So I think that's the toughest part of being a fighting game player is we all have this vision of, oh, I was this player. People are going to want to watch me play. No, not all. Most people, the answer is no. I'm this great commentator. I'm this great entertainer. No, and that's for most. And it's tough to accept when you have dollar signs in your mind and think you're going to get all this opportunity, and then you realize that's not for you, bruh. Enjoy what you have.
Well, what made you come to this realization?
You know, I guess I've always realized it, but I got mad, because it was just really, I think for me especially, it was just really tough to deal with. Like I thought, I was going to make a career out of fighting games. Just me going down that path, and it's no one's fault but myself. I made those decisions. I put myself in that box, and then I was upset when, you know, my decisions led me into a bad situation.
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean, it's not, there's a basketball announcer, Marv Albert, who went to prison for 3 years for SA, let's just say like that, although it was a little more extreme than that.
Hmm.
Came back, they were hired him again to commentate basketball, right? When you're really that good, opportunities are there.
Yeah.
And when you're not and you're just like mediocre, you just have to accept it and just say, hey, let me appreciate those that do show up for me. And it may not be on the grandest stage, but I'm fortunate even a few hundred would show up, you know? And I just, I just didn't appreciate those guys. So I want to thank all you guys now.
Does that mean that we will see more content from you?
No,
Like let's say Virtua Fighter. Are you no interest in doing stuff for that?
no.
Fair enough. So is this the only place people will find you predominantly?
Um,
Or
for
will
the
you do
most part,
stuff on
I
your
mean, it,
channel?
it, it depends on what happens with Mortal Kombat, or if NRS ever picks up the phone and call me, they won't. But
You never know, man. Management could change over there one day.
they never in a million. Even if management changed, they'll put it in the contract. Management can you can take this management job under the one condition that this man here is never allowed to be mentioned. I
Just
got
go under a different name and you'll be all right.
they put me right up there, man.
We'll call you John Brady. All
Yeah.
right. Well, I think that's pretty cool. I think it's cool that you like. I think it's always cool to appreciate the people that show up for you rather than focus on the people that want to see you fall. So I think that's pretty good. Maybe you can take that segment that you just or what you just said and put it on your channel just so that all of your subscribers can hear it.
Yeah, I probably will.
Yeah.
This is very interesting. So first of all, obviously I couldn't build out full characters because it's impossible in 2 days to come up with every normal, every property, every special. Like that's for that many characters. There's just no way.
Hmm.
But I wanted to like, what are their specials? What are the properties? How are they going to behave? How are they going to interact with certain other aspects? Like the overall archetype and build out of how each character is going to play.
Okay. What I'll do is I'll share the screen as well. So if you say a character name and then something you want me to jot down about them, then I'll write
All right.
it.
We're going to start with Quan Chi. We're going to start with the Deadly Alliance. So Quan Chi, with every character, just a couple of disclaimers before we get into the characters. It's so difficult to like decide what character should do what. Like who should play keep away, who should be pressure, who should have 50-50s. So I wanted each character to be kind of like true to like who they actually are. So like, for example, and here's a quick spoiler. If you're a Mortal Kombat deception character, you're going to 50-50 the shit out of people because that's what Mortal Kombat deception characters do. If you came around in the 3D era, that's what you did. So, or like Scorpion, he's going to be more aggressive. Sub-Zero is going to be more refined, right? Even like Katana and Melina is a lot like Scorpion and Sub-Zero. Like Katana players must look at Melina players the way Sub-Zero players look at Scorpion players, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I wanted to keep, each character true to themselves. So I'm going to start with Quan Chi here. Quan Chi is going to really kind of use like, so he's going to have like a trance, skydrop, fireball, but he's really going to excel in what I like to call portals. And let me also start off by giving a lot of credit to every designer who has ever worked in the Midway era and NRS era. All I'm doing is taking your many ideas and tweaking them and editing them. But when I came to like Onaga, like when you gave me Onaga and I had to create from myself, I was like, this is hard to create, right? Anybody can tweak good ideas and make them better. But what they have done is created them to begin with, to make them good ideas in the first place. So I want to give each and every one of them credit and to say, people don't understand how hard your job is. Now, they will never hear me say this because they'll never watch this video. But for those that are watching, I do want you to realize it is not easy to create from scratch. Like, that is hard. So portals, here's the concept with his portals. He's going to have 3 of them. Portal in front of him, portal behind him, and portal above him. Now, the way this works is, yeah.
So you just talk away. I'll just type.
Okay, front, back, and above. And what these portals can do are absorb stuff. So, like, basically, when he has a portal up, he can throw his fireball into the portal. Say he has a portal in front of him, and the fireball will either keep going, or he can store the fireball for later use. Right? If he throws the fireball, he can throw the fireball backwards, and it will go through the portal, and he can have it keep going, and it will come out behind you and hit you. Right? Or the same with the portal above.
So that's kind of like the actual portal game, right?
Yeah, and the EX version of the portal will also stop your projectile. So you can't even zone him through it. So like if he does like EX forward projectile, a forward portal, it will eat your stuff, and he can also throw his own fireballs. If he does EX portal above or any of the EX portals behind, above, or in front, he can walk through them as well, the EX one, or jump ahead or backwards and appear in front, above, behind you. So he can also choose to do that. It's kind of like a mobility tool. So for example, if he's got it set up in front of him and he wants to play close to it and you're trying to zone him from range, because he can walk, and his close portal is going to be more like at the halfway point of the screen. You know what I mean? So like say he's in the middle of the screen, there's going to be some distance, right, between the portals. Now, obviously, if he's back into the corner, the behind portal is going to be directly on him. And if the screen is cut off to where he's more close to you, which there's risk to doing these portal moves, obviously at such close range, it's going to be based on his distance, right, where location is on the screen, as far as like how far away the portal is from him. But like, if he plays close to the forward portal and you want to zone him, he can still, EX portal, he can walk through it and still appear right in front of you while you're, or the above one as well. The sky drop is also going to be, can be done in air, and the EX sky drop is going to be extremely fast. And the regular sky drop, he'll just land and just be next to you at advantage. The EX sky drop will actually do the feet stomps. He's also going to have like a portal, like a punch, like a fist that comes right out of a portal. Like it'll be like up close, like portal, he'll do this, portal, fist comes out, that'll knock you back. That will also, the EX version of that will have armor. I'm trying to keep these armor moves not ridiculous, kind of quick, get off me moves. I don't want to go extreme with armor. I don't want everything coated in armor. I want, armor to be like a kind of get off me tool. He's gonna have like a double special, so his EX. Also EX portal above. If you jump, you will go through it, and then you will land, like and be juggled. So EX portal above, it will allow him to go through it, and if you're jumping and he does that and you jump through it, it will put you in a combo state. You will come down and he will combo you. While he's doing like, I will allow. Keep in mind, I'm also allowing him to store fireballs. Right now, once he stores the fireball, he can only release it for a bar of meter. There'll be like a command where he can. It'll be an EX fireball that he releases. Like once he stores it. And that's the only way the fireball can come out once it's been stored. So the EX fireball down will be kind of like it'll give like a low pop-up, you know what I mean? But keep in mind he will have to set it up, store it, and then spend the bar to use it. The EX fireball, like forward or backward, will, cause like a stun, but you won't be able to block out of it. It'll give him like a grounded combo. Now, the EX sky drop, while it's like hitting you on the ground and he's kicking you like boom, 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 obviously doing these straight or these forward or backwards fireball that's been stored won't do anything because they're on the ground. That'll pass right through. But then he can double special. So EX sky drop into EX fireball release will give him a full combo from that. And I know it's off of an air teleport kick move, but it is 2 bars. Meter is extremely expensive. Everything is meter heavy in this game because I want decisions. One thing, what I hate about modern Mortal Kombat is how decisions are not like as impactful. No matter how much stuff costs meter, people still seem to have meter to break and do all their EX moves. And then there's the fatal blow, which is not a meter, it's whatever. They just always seem to have it, which makes decisions less impactful. You can have really stupid, abusable stuff if it's using a very rare and limited resource, right? Meter has got to feel very valuable to you. Otherwise, like, there's really nothing to like balance the power. The power can only be but so much, if you can just do these stupid, devastating moves. So this is kind of, how Quan Chi's going to play around like these portals. I want it to be, and again, it's just a stolen idea from what they do now. I don't like. I just think it's as far as like the portals on you where, what is it? It does you can't move out of it, or it does he's got armor. That's such a, to me that's just so stupid. Like because when you give someone something like that, oh, he's got this portal right under you or right next to you, and now he has armor and he can keep going and keep attacking you, and you poke but you get hit. Like, you have to literally neuter a character as a balancing tool for giving them something like that. Which is stupid. Like, you can make characters more creative without saying, oh, I know what we'll do. We'll give him this one really stupid thing and then literally cut his balls off everywhere else. Like, it's by the way, he will have a quick down 1 for anyone who's asking from like day 1 Quan Chi and MK11. He'll have a fast down 1, just so you guys know. The normals I really have, because I know someone's going to say, is he going to be able to poke? Yeah, yes, he will. So this is, I haven't done the normals yet. This was a lot for me to think of in general. And we can kind of like, again, I'm going to have a normal counter hit system. So some of these things are going to have counter hit properties. Maybe
his swords at all. The 2 swords he had in Deadly Alliance, and
yeah. I was going to put that in his normal kit. Yeah, he was. So what I was in his normals, one thing I wanted to give him, his good mids are going to be his broadswords. So whatever that button is, it's going to be the broadswords 3 animation. And I was thinking he could have broadswords 3, 4, which will be on safe as a string, but like on counter hit will like knock back enough for him to be able to cancel with like an EX sky drop. You know what I mean?
So if you don't have meter and you do broadswords 3/4, the sky drop will whiff.
Yes. The EX has to be faster. Yeah.
Okay. So you basically trying to promote using.
I mean,
meter
that's my mistake.
wisely.
That's fine. EX trance, my mistake, because he's going to have trance too. You have to EX trance. I was reading the wrong line here. EX trance will come, but again, 3/4. This, it's going to cost the bar, and you're dead if they block it. So like, you can't just throw it out. You can use it for a counter hit hunt. 3/4, but so like as a punishing tool, it's going to be very good as a punisher because it's going to have range, right? So it's going to be great as a punisher, great as a counter hit tool. Broadswords 3 you will not have I'm going to make it -7 because I'm not going to make something like this a stagger tool where he's doing like 3, 3, 3, and I'm going to cancel and I'm going to stagger with something else. It's too much of a devastating move because of what it goes to, on counter that I'm not going to allow that for a stagger pressure. Quan Chi is also going to have I thought about as far he's going to have his what's the move? His down 1 is also going to be his broadswords poke. So he's going to have I'm not down 1. He's going to have like a down 4. His down 4 will be his broadsword. You know what I'm talking about? Kind of extended poke. That's for his down 4. His down 1 is just going to be a quick poke, but his down 4 is going to be like a broadswords poke. That's really like as far as I got. As far as I knew, I wanted to incorporate the swords, but I don't want to make like all his normal swords. So that's all I've got with Quan Chi so far. So let's move on to Shang Tsung, and I just didn't have time. I just didn't have time to go through like all the normals, all the properties, it's just too much to do that. Shang Tsung. I wanted morphing to be a big part of his game, but I also understand the limitation of modern characters. With all the stuff I'm putting in these characters, you can't possibly have the game have each character's loadout ready to go for a smooth morph. That's why he can only morph into you. So I understand that. So what I had Shang do, he's gonna have his straight fireball. No, as far as morphing as he can morph and fight as you, right? That's what I mean. We'll get to the next in a second. Yeah. So he has straight fireballs, which you can do 1, 2, or 3. 1 and 2 would be normal, and EX would be 3. So EX will be 3 skulls. EX, I mean, he's going to have his rising skull from the ground, close, medium, far. EX will be all 3. And you can choose how you do it. In other words, if you just do the EX ground skulls, all 3 come out as once. If you do it and hold forward, it will start far, medium, close. And if you hold back, it will start close, medium, far. Now, since I want Shang to be able to still feel like he's Shang, and I know we can't morph into every character in the game, so what I will allow him to do is steal the soul of every character in the game quickly. He'll pull like, say he wants to be like Scorpion and like steal like the spear or whatever. he'll do.
Oh, sorry, Tom. That's a good point that Tuxedo brought up. Have you already written all this down, or are you just doing it off the top of your head?
I got it all written down here. I hadn't put it on a Word doc yet.
Oh,
I got
okay.
it. I shorthanded a lot of it before I put it in a Word doc. Yeah, I don't have it in a Word doc yet. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The
All right.
Word doc.
If you send me the Word document after, I can just type it all up instead of staying silent because my keyboard is so loud. I have to mute when I'm typing.
Oh, okay. Yeah. We'll just do that.
Yeah, and then I'll share the Google document on Twitter for anyone that wants to read it.
Yeah, well, I didn't know your keyboard was that. I
Yeah,
got
just listen to this.
Okay, yeah, I got it.
Yeah, it's a bit annoying.
They wouldn't like that. So, would I leave off at?
You got up to the fireballs changing position depending if you're holding back or forward.
Okay, yeah. So, for his soul steal, so he's also going to have the soul steal where he steals the opponent's soul and fights as them. The EX version of that soul steal will have armor. Now, I want him to be able to like feel like Shang Tsung, where like back in the old days when he could like morph into the other character, but I understand that's not possible to morph into all the characters. But what is possible is for him to steal one move for all of them. So let's just say you want Scorpion's spear, or just for an example, right? I haven't decided what move I would give him from each character. You would do like, let's say back low punch or whatever it is, or up down low, whatever command it would be, and you would pull Scorpion out. Your soul is mine. Quick, it'll be a quick animation, right? And now you have access to one of Scorpion's moves, and it's the same move. Like it's not like you can choose which move you steal, right? So this allows him to still have at least one move from every character in the game. So you're not loading up the character and the whole thing. You can, and then when he is fighting as you, Shang Tsung can extend the time that he's fighting as you with an EX Soul Steal. Will then extend the time that he is you for longer, right? And it will also give him access to his individual moves while he's you at the same time.
How long will he have access to the moves, or are they permanent once he's taken your soul?
Oh, one use.
Oh, okay. So he can grab you again to take it as well, again,
Yes.
or does that move become useless?
Yeah, he has to use it again. So once he uses the move, he's got to load up another one. So he can still use every character's moves, in the game, or not one move from every character, and he can use them at will during the match. As far as like, okay, I use Scorpion's spear, but now in this situation, I might want to use a move from this character, and I'm gonna, do that. So say like Sub-Zero, you would do forward, down, forward, high punch, and you would pull a Sub-Zero out. Your soul is mine. It'll be a quick animation, and he'll toss him aside, and then he'll have access to like a slide or an ice ball or whatever move he ends up getting. You know what I mean?
How is he pulling them out? Like, where are they coming from?
He just grabs them. He'll grab them from like a portal. I don't know.
Okay, so he puts his hand through a portal and like
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Portal, I was like imagining like a puppet, like holding them up.
No. He'll go through like a portal, grab it. Your soul is mine. It'll be fairly quick, but not like obnoxiously quick, because I want it the pace to be whatever. His EX Soul Steal will allow him. So while he is you, he will still have access to at least the EX Soul Steal, not the Soul Steal where he can steal someone else's move. He'll have access to the EX Soul Steal. The EX Soul Steal will extend the time that he's you for longer. And on top of being you in all your moves, allow him to now use his individual moves as well, like the straight skulls and the ground skulls, along with all your moves.
Would Sifu said, would you have a visual indicator on the screen that you have a character's move, or would you just have to remember?
You would have a visual indicator that a move is loaded.
And what would that be, like some sort of like pop-up spark, or would it be like an icon?
It'll be like an icon. I don't know. I want to put it somewhere where it's can be seen. I would put it like bottom left or something like that, like right above the super meter.
Yeah. Don't you think, okay, this is going to sound really wacky, but don't you think, like, with your idea of him reaching into a portal and stealing a soul, it would be really cool. Then you can do it again. So you have the icon at the top to say you took Sub-Zero's ice ball, and then let's say you do it again and he steals another soul, and you take Scorpion's fireball. And then let's say that if you want to combine the two fireballs, you use a bit of EX meter. So you've got an ice and fire when it does an extra bit of damage to the opponent, or it has special properties. Because that way, Shang Tsung can become a character that is super unique because he uses other people's abilities and he can put them together. Or would that be too much work?
I don't know what the limits of technology are on what I'm suggesting so far. It's something I would definitely look into if it's possible.
Yeah, I'm just thinking of like it'd be cool if you could combine two abilities and they have a special unique property.
Would they carry over rounds? As far as like, yes, it would carry to the next round.
So you could save the ice ball if you want for the next round.
Yes.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
So next we're gonna have Liu Kang.
Will Shang Tsung's fireballs clash? That's the real question.
No fireballs will clash.
We're gonna have this discussion at the end.
See, Mortal Kombat projectiles. The projectiles are meant to be dealt with, regardless on if your fireball's coming out, not meant to be canceled out, because it really ruins a lot of characters' situations if the fireball can be canceled out and not have to be dealt with. That's what makes really Mortal Kombat projectiles unique. So we're going to go with Liu Kang. Liu Kang is going to have, the usual high fireball, low fireball. He's going to have his air fireball. I'm going to also give Liu Kang an air fireball straight down. This is to give him an option. Like if he does a jump in, just give him something, another option to stop you from anti-airing. No, you cannot cancel it. No, you cannot amplify it. No, you can't meter burn nothing and stay in the air. One thing I hate what NRS does is the second and third chance mechanics. What I think of a lot of times is Jackie's air blast down. She does it. She block it up, but it's a EX1. Ha ha! Here comes another one. Block 2 in a row. No, none of this dumb shit where you blocked it. But what about this coming after? No, you blocked it. You're gonna die. Nice try. So yeah, when you block it, he is dead.
Yeah,
deader than dead. But it's just an option, right? He's gonna have fly kick. His armor move is going to be bicycle kick, and bicycle kick will be is it going to kill their jump arc? What do you mean? Is the air fireball going to hit you while you're jumping? What depends on the height he releases it at. Like if he does an instant air and you're at a certain point in the air, you can obviously get over it. So I'm so glad you said that, because I did give him a stance. I said, no worries, my friend. I knew you guys wanted it. So bike kick is going to be an actual mid. I want these armor moves I don't want these stupid situations where I knock you down, I'm going to hold up, or just armor moves high, so I'm going to do a crouching kick or whatever. I want you to be able to get people off of you. Like if you're knocked down, they're not going to be safe, but I want them to get people off of you. Going to have his fly kick. And he's going to have an EX fly kick. The fly kick, just a quick hit, knocks you back. EX fly kick is going to be a little more damage. It's going to be like a flutter of kick. He'll kick you, and then like he'll do like a kick off you. So like a fly kick, and then while he's in the air, like a flip kick. You know what I mean? Backwards. Yeah. However, he does have a stance. I'm going to allow him, and let me get to the stance first. So out of his stance, he has a reflect. He has an absorb. So And when he absorbs, if he absorbs a projectile, he can do a meter version and reflect and do 3 fireballs of his own back, i.e. MK11 fireballs, you know, boom, 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 3.
Is this Liu Kang a fire god or the classic Liu Kang?
This is classic Liu Kang.
Okay.
Liu Kang's EX fireballs, for example, will be fireball high, fireball low. His EX low fire will be low fireball, then a high fireball, right? So he'll just, you know, kind of like what you see in MK11, very similar. The reflect, he can use a bar and he can either reflect it back to you, or he has an absorb, and then he can use meter to immediately at light speed, and I stress light speed, send 3 fireballs back. So the closer he does it, you're not going to be able to block. He also cannot reflect it, but absorb. And as he absorbs, his hands will get fire on them, which he'll do more chip. He'll do more damage when he hits you. His projectiles will do greatly increased damage. And out of this stance, he's going to have a block. It's not going to be a throw, but it's going to be like a blockable move. So like if he does like a string, he can do string in a stance into a move that will look like a grab, but it's blockable, and it will launch, right?
Okay.
He can do, for a double special, EX fly kick into an EX, and he'll have like an EX version of the stance, which if you do like EX stance and you absorb a projectile, then the projectile comes back almost like a Kenshi reflect. So you absorb it and then it becomes like light speed. So if he just EX stance and you do a projectile, it's going to boom, boom, boom really quick, right? And it's going to get and his hands will automatically be max glowing. So the projectiles will do a good amount of damage. I'm going to allow EX fly kick cancel into EX stance, and the cancel will be so quick that he will grab you and you'll be able to do the stance cancel into his launching kind of toss move, right?
Yeah.
Now the big question is, how do you avoid the NRS special of a max range full screen attack that then all of a sudden now you cancel into a stance, and because of how the range is, now you're almost at advantage, right? And you're right in their face. Because if you block any version of the fly kick, he's going to curl up in a ball, so there's no chance for that to happen.
Okay, that makes sense.
Liu Kang's normals. I like the idea of Liu Kang's normals not really being plus, but a lot of them being like -1, -2/0, low negative frames. Liu Kang, I feel like, is meant to be the jack of many trades, but never the master of one. But the fact that he's the jack of all of them, you know what I'm saying? I maybe that's kind of like how I saw Liu Kang.
So he's not the dominant zoner, but he's also not the dominant rushdown character. He's just a bit in between.
He's a very good zoner, also a very good counter zoner at the same time.
Right,
but the fact that he can enhance the damage drastically of his projectiles makes his counter zoning a lot better than someone else's zoning.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
And I don't mean like it does 1% more. No, it's actually going to be meaningful damage, upgrade. When we come to Sindel, Sindel was also kind of a tough one because Sindel has so many moves you can pull from. Her hair whip, her, screen. It's tough to be able to give these characters everything that they've ever had, because then you enter into a territory of like, they have an answer for every situation. They have no flaw. They have no weakness. Not something you can do. So with Sindel, I'm going to give her straight fireball, her low fireball. I'm going to give her scream, and her armor move will be her flip kick. Now, every armor move in the game will be extremely unsafe. Each character is only really going to have one, and not as far as like unsafe of you better be quick. Unsafe as in minus, you can't put in minus 9999999999999. Like if something is meant to be unsafe and full combo punished, you have no shot of like, haha, -9, we were a little too slow on that punish. No, none of that garbage. I
Yeah,
hate when
that's a good
NRS does
point.
that.
That's a very good point. Like, if
NRS
you're
will be
gonna,
like, they'll be like, well, technically this launcher that's meant to be unsafe is unsafe, -9 with a little bit of pushback. Shut up. Like
yeah,
enough of this garbage.
yeah, either commit to it or just
Yeah,
don't do it at all.
yeah.
I just wanted to
100%.
say thanks, Rusty, for the $5. Tom
Thank you
will
so
always
much, Rusty.
be the MK goat.
I thank you so much, Rusty. Thank you so much. I
This
miss Rusty,
is
man.
this is an interesting one. From space, he said, "Hell, Mike and Lord Brady saw an interview of James MK from Napier, and projectile clash was a question. James seemed to agree. Maybe rework them." So you're one of your contemporaries agreed with
An
me.
interview with James MK. No, I disagree with James there. I disagree.
Are you disagreeing for the sake of disagreeing, or do you really think that Mortal Kombat?
They should not clash.
You really think it benefits when they're not clashing?
Because again, you want. As I go through all the characters, you'll have a better idea why.
But what if they clash
I
in a
don't want
different
to.
way? Well, okay, do you know, we'll do it. We'll talk about it at the end after you've got through
Yeah,
the characters.
yeah. Because there are just some situations where if you could just cancel it out, why would I ever use it? Like, for example, Sub-Zero.
Can't use that on any character.
I'm going to use the Sub-Zero Ice Ball, for example. It's a good move, and the trade is what makes it. However, based on how long it keeps you frozen, which I don't think it should keep you frozen for like a gabillion years, a reasonable time, based on what you got hit with, you don't actually get the combo. You might only get like a slide or something like that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So the reality is, or you get nothing. So the reality is, even though you got frozen, you lost that trade. Whereas it's just, they all just cancel out. Nothing to see here.
So I think that we're looking at fireballs in a very simplistic way because fighting games have been stuck in a rut for a long time and they haven't really explored different avenues to like make the clashes fun. So if you had Sub-Zero's fireball is really powerful because obviously they go through each other, but his one freezes you, so he gets a full combo. It's not just a fireball, it's a combo starter. So a trade-off to that could be if you throw two fireballs at each other and they clash, Sub-Zero's fireball could freeze the incoming fireball, and then you've got this clump of projectile in the middle of the screen that Sub-Zero can use to like kick at you or punch at you, but the opponent can also be like, you can't just throw fireballs at me willy-nilly because maybe Scorpion can use a spear to grab the fireball and bring the fireball in and throw it at Sub-Zero, put a little bit of extra mustard on that. I think that you could do a lot of quirky things with MK fireballs because the fireballs are so weird. They're not like Street Fighter where it's just a projectile. Yeah. They don't mean anything. MK's fireballs have got loads of different properties. And then you've got things like Scorpion Spear, or you've got things that appear in weird angles. Simply having them pass through each other, it's so one-dimensional. It's like, okay, cool. The better fight. If I do Noob Saibot's fireball against Sub-Zero, I lose. He'll get hit. I'll get hit and I'll be frozen. Whereas if you came up with an interesting way to make them clash and what the uses could be after they've clashed, not just disappearing, then maybe it could be something fun. I just don't like the idea of us. Like you got someone like Cetrion, giant rock boulder or whatever that is, throws it at you. You throw your fireball at her, but you get knocked down. She gets slightly staggered. Now you're in a situation that you don't want to be in. It's just like, all right, they don't have to clash, but it's pretty shit.
Yeah. I don't like the idea. I'm open to other ideas besides just clashing.
Yeah, I don't want them to just clash and disappear.
That's what I'm against. I'm against the clashing and disappearing.
Yeah, basically what Foxy gets it. So the two fireballs clash.
Yeah, I'm on board. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, they freeze in the middle of the screen. Now there's like a Scorpion. Mortal Kombat's got a lot of weird things in it. Like they throw really weird like mechanics and attributes at the game. If the fireball wall was like quirky, where okay, you threw a fireball, it's not just a regular clash though. Now there's something frozen on the screen that can be used against Sub-Zero, or Sub-Zero can use it against them, rather than we went for each other. I froze you. GG's.
Yeah. And then you could make like the EX version, like a quick straight beam, which eats their well, it's going to freeze their projectile on the screen still, but it's going to keep going and then freeze them. It's like, what is the EX? Oh, it's just a better version of the right. It avoids that rut. Like, oh, this is just a better. It's like they both have two completely different functions, you know?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean when I say have them clash. Don't just clash and disappear. Clash and do something new and unique. Do something that will push the genre forward or make people think, oh, okay, there's new ways to like have projectile wars. That's all I'm saying.
I'm even, yeah, I'm actually okay with that. You know, again, but
we got Tom.
Yeah, you know, I just don't want to remove the interesting part of the Mortal Kombat project. I don't want to make it like every other fighting game where they just cancel out and you're just, you know, I don't want to. That's one of the fireballs in Mortal Kombat, the way they interact are different from fighting games in general, right? They don't behave the same way of the universal rule. I'm okay with making a different way to do it, as long as it's not like, well, we'll just fall in line with every other fighting game that does a fireball clash.
Yeah, I don't want that. I don't want them to fall in line. I want them to be their own thing, because what they are right now is lazy. It is its own thing, but it's just like it's a layer one thing that they've had since the dawn of time. They can expand on it because they've got the most interesting fireballs. They just don't use them in an interesting way.
No, I'm certainly okay with finding a very interesting way to do this. I just didn't want just the generic, well, they've clashed and now I didn't want that.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. So on Sindel, I gave her high fireball, low fireball, flip kick. EX flip kick has armor. It's not an overhead. There are no overheads for anything if you're not an MK Deception character. We're not doing this garbage of overhead lows. You know, there are specific characters that do this. I'm not, you know, doing that. So flip kick is not an overhead.
So will it just be like a safe mid?
Regular flip kick will be a safe mid. It will be a safe mid. It will be completely safe, and it will keep them standing.
Okay. Why does it keep them standing?
Because it's just not going to be a flip kick backwards. It's going to be a flip kick just where she just, you know what I mean? It's just, she's going to do a flip, but the EX version is the one that's going to do the full flip and the kick back, and it's going to have armor.
Right, okay. Will it have armor from the beginning, or will it have armor when
the EX one's going to have armor from the beginning.
Do you have to commit to EX moves in your version of MK, or can you meet a burn halfway through?
You got to commit them.
Yeah.
Good. There is no like none of that. No. I mean, I'm just trying to think of why I would use the flip kick if its sole purpose is to exist. I may only give her like an EX flip kick. I may not even, I don't like this creating a version of the move that only exists for you to give it an EX version so it can have armor. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I would make flip. I was thinking about making flip kick, you know, maybe I would make it knockback, but I would make it a very good like proximity move. Like regular flip kick would be flip and then like it would kick herself backwards. So that would be fast special punishable. You know what I mean? Johnny Cage shadow kick. Or
wouldn't you incorporate her hair into anything?
I mean, it wouldn't be like combo punishable outside of like maybe a scorpion spear. But like, you know, you would see like Sub-Zero slide, Johnny Cage shadow kick. Another character could do like a teleport or whatever. You know, something like that. I mean, I'm still working that out. You know what I mean? But how? Because you don't want to make it so abusable where you can't get near. Where every time you get nearer, she's like, "Haha, bro," and I'm out of here. You know, so you want to make it punishable. So so I'd want to do something to where flip kick, like in neutral, she can use it like as a space control move, but not so abusable that like, you know what I'm saying? Maybe like a fast special punish. I don't think it should be full combo punishable.
Do you know, I had an idea for Sindel. This might sound really wacky, but let me know what you think. I thought it'd be really cool if you turned Sindel into a grappler. because her hair, I feel like, is so underutilized in the way they designed them in the gameplay. If you gave her hair multiple functions, so that she became a command grappler, and it all came from her hair, where she'll
Well,
grab different. Like if
you
you're
didn't let me
ducking, she.
finish.
Okay, all right, my bad, my
You didn't
bad.
let me finish. I'm also going to give Sindel a float. Now, the float cannot be done while grounded because I don't want float cancels, like MK9, even though I know execution and whatever. Her float can only be done from the air. And it's not going to be like a stall move. Like I don't want her to do like jump kick, haha, float. Got to guess, bruh, am I going to come down with a punch? Am I going to keep the? No, not doing that. So if you do like a jump kick into a float, there's at least some animation where you're going to get jabbed out of the air.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll allow her to do it out of her air moves. Like she can do air fireball, cancel into float. Now from airborne, she's going to have a whole new set of airborne normals, including a hair whip move. Like, so she can do like a hair whip down and grab you and it will flip you up. You know what I'm saying? To her. So that is going to be extremely. I want it to be unsafe. Like it's not going to be. It's going to have low range. So she's got to be close to you to do right. The question is, there's two versions of this. The first version, she just kind of whips you, and you can like have her like whip you forward or backwards, right, while she's in the air still, right? So it'll just whip you and flip you one way or the other. The EX version will flip you straight up to her, or yeah, the EX version also you can choose either straight up in front of her or flip you to the other side of her so she can come to you that way.
Okay.
Now, off of a counter hit, I don't know if I want to make it EX fireball or regular fireball. Regular fireball can be too stupid. She can then air flip you. So when she hits you with a counter hit air fireball, she will be able to hair flip you.
Okay.
So this way, again, this is all bar, right? I don't know if I want to make it EX only that counter hits. It may be worth 2 bars. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I'm not really sure.
It's one of those things that you have to see in practice to see how potent it is.
In practicality, in practicality. I like the ability to like do specials together, but I want there to be a meter cost to it. It doesn't necessarily always have to be 2 bars. There has to be a bar use somewhere in there. Now, for the case of Liu Kang's fly kick, it goes full screen, right? So you can't have a regular version do that. It would be too abusable, but and definitely counter hit, low fireball, and I would make you commit to it. So you could fireball, EX fireball. You can do like an EX fireball, and then you can cancel out of the EX fireball into an EX screen. And the EX screen will hit like 3/4 of the screen. So that means from full screen, and the fireball is going to be faster. If it counter hits, you are also going to, so you hit them as they're doing something or trying to get a projectile out, your fireball will basically be like this, and the screen is still going to come out while the fireball is here, right? So I want you to commit to it. I don't want it to be like, oh, hit confirmable, because then it makes the fireball stupid, because it's going to be it has to counter hit. So it has to be much faster, but you're also going to have to commit. Like, I'm not going to allow you, you know what I mean? So, there is all types of ways that, yeah, I was thinking the same thing with her hair. I'm like, it's underutilized for sure. It absolutely is. So I didn't want to make it like a command throw. So I wanted to use it as like an airborne move where she's using it.
I'm assuming this version of MK you're making is a 2D one, not a 3D one.
Yes, it's a 2D one. Also, while airborne, she'll have a straight hair whip that will have, this is funny. So if you jump at her airborne straight hair whip will have airborne immunity.
Okay.
So she will basically air throw you out of whatever you do. Now, again, it's going to have some anticipation there because, There's going to be animation to it. It's not going to be like on reaction, I saw you jump, etc. Right? You have to read it. And if you're wrong, it's just going to whip and she's going to be stuck in the air like an idiot.
Yeah. Okay. And will she have a weapon of any kind?
No, I'm not giving her a weapon.
Do you know what
She's,
I thought? I thought for a weapon for Sindel. I thought that if you had, if this was in like theory like a 3D type game, or if this game had different stances like Deception and Deadly Alliance, that her sword would make her hair sort of like come around like daggers, sort of pointing at you, and that would be, instead of using her fists, her hair would sort of be in place of that as like the sword attacks.
and we can do that with normals. That's why I didn't bring the normals up, because I just didn't have enough time to come up with a full character normal, because normals, and well, what are the properties of these normals now, right? So it's just very difficult to really.
Yeah.
Scorpion. This was an interesting one. You can have some fun with Scorpion. Scorpion's going to have, spear. EX spear is going to be faster. It's going to be a mid. He's going to have teleport, which can be done grounded or airborne. EX teleport will launch. It will be Omega Death, obviously, as it should be. The teleport can also be canceled for a bar, backwards or behind them or whatever. He's going to have his air throw. He's going to have his armor move is going to be his skull. I'm going to give him his little skull flame, right? It's going to have armor, from MK4, you know what I'm talking about? He's going to have that. He's going to have a demon dash and EX demon dash. Now, I want cancel characters, but I don't want a run mechanic. So the movement of the game is going to be very quick, very fluid. You can cancel a dash into another dash in the block. Pseudo like day 1 MK9 before the dash nerf, which was accidental, by the way. They didn't even want to do that. So movement will be extremely fast. You don't need to run to make it faster.
Why would you not have the run mechanic? What are you against? Bear in mind, I don't like the run mechanic.
Because it makes it much harder for like zoners to do stuff when you can just quickly run across the screen at the speed of light. I just don't like that. You characters that have like range normals, you can run and be at half screen instantly, and then you stick out of long range moves, and instantly you're covering 75% of the screen in like a second. I don't like that. It's just not a good idea. So out of his demon dash, he's going to have the ability to cancel the demon dash. So this is how he's going to have like pressure. So for example, also like if he does like EX demon dash, he's going to be able to cancel out of that with EX spear for a double special. But like let's say like he'll do something in a demon dash. His regular demon dash cancels are all going to be like negative frames based on the move. -5, -7, not punishable, but he can block, but there's no shot he's not going to surrender his turn, right? Now he can also use EX demon dash, which is going to give him giga plus frames on everything. So he's going to be able to be able to pressure you, but it is going to cost the bar. Also, I'm going to give him things like, let's say, counter hits. Like if he does, and this is how you have to test. Like if he does like a counter hit sweep, for example, a counter hit sweep into demon dash cancel will allow a combo. Maybe it might have to be an EX demon dash. You know what I mean? Same with the counter hit roundhouse. Let's just for example, right? Or I'll give him like a very good like normal, like a straight punch normal, something like that, right? On counter hit, it will kind of do like a low pop back with like an EX demon dash. It will go right into a combo. But I would actually make that confirmable. So you know what I mean? Okay. So you're not just like blindly throwing the bar out. So he's going to be able to make use of those counter hits. He's also going to be a cancel character with EX demon dash, a regular demon dash as well. And I got to see, it's so tough because you got to look at the frames when you actually install his normals. So it's that you have to look at. It's so tough to like play it out in your head without putting it in the actual game, and
Yeah.
then tweaking it from there. So that's how I would have Scorpion. He's going to be a very aggressive character, obviously, and he should be very aggressive,
Yeah.
But I do want characters to have to use bar for a lot of stuff. Otherwise, it just becomes stupid.
Would you ever do a low, medium, and high spear? So the spear gets new utility, but it gets added risks. So if you
No,
go low, then it has the risk of like someone just
no,
like maybe short hopping over it and running over and getting a full combo, or like a high one would leave them open on the ground.
no. I'm also going to give him a very quick Hellfire, unblockable, but it does take a bar. No regular Hellfire. Hellfire is an EX move only. It's extremely quick. It'll do good damage. Let's say, like 15% because it is a bar, and it's unblockable and it's very quick.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give him that. Just something in the neutral, you know what I mean, while he's doing spear or whatever. He also has that. But again, you can't abuse it. I want moves to be stupidly powerful, but not like, well, he can just do this all day. Now, of course, the character, everybody would love to see how stupid I would make this character. Sub-Zero. Sub-Zero, now I see why NRS has a hard time balancing him. Me trying to put together, and I'm like, this is really hard. Like, this is...
Oh, can I just say,
yeah.
Your Hellfire thing,
Yeah.
I think Hellfire is cool and it's iconic. But if I was doing my own version of like getting a little bit of extra damage on somebody, this would be a bit different. But I like the idea of Scorpion setting himself on fire to hurt you, but not the way they did it in MKX. I would prefer it if they did it as like a command grab sort of thing, where Scorpion can command grab you to give you damage over time. So he grabs you and sets you on fire, and it does like 0.25 or 0.5 damage over time. Because the Hellfire is cool, but I feel like this Deadly Alliance did a really cool thing where they took a risk and the characters came out really well. And maybe Scorpion, you could change that up a little bit. That's just me. Maybe people don't like that.
I was experimenting with putting himself on fire and changing things, like maybe because he's on fire, now his moves are faster, or some kind of change. I had that in my head, but that's on the table. But it's just, that's tough to work out, without.
What about if he had a power up that made so because he's so angry and he's so aggressive?
I think he sets himself on fire, and all of his moves now become faster, which would then allow him to stuff into regular Demon Dash as a pressure tool as long as he's on fire, but he's also losing life while on fire.
Yeah, but exactly. He would have to start losing health.
Yeah, so he now all of a sudden can do whatever into regular Demon Dash, and he doesn't have to do it with the bar. Now he's like pressure, but he's losing health the whole time.
Yeah,
so
that's what I was thinking.
You know what I'm saying? Something like that, where for a bar, he sets himself on fire and it changes the way he plays, right? Everything is faster, right? And because of that, and the way his Demon Dash stuff is put together, now all of a sudden he's able to pressure you in situations he couldn't pressure you before. And if he hits you, he's able to, without Demon Dash, whatever, into the dash and then combo you. You know what I'm saying? Or like maybe if he hits you while he's on fire, it then engulfs you in flames, and then he can do a combo, and then the fire leaves him to go to you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then something like that, to where, again, it's something where you've got to put in the game and then do it. So that was one of my thoughts about that. I wanted it to change how he plays, not just, oh, he's on fire, so he just does damage over time because he's next to you. I wanted it like, now he's on fire, and because he's on fire, he's even more angry, right? So he's faster. That's kind of how I wanted it to be.
Yeah, when I was talking about the spear, I was thinking the low one would be like if you did the high one, it'd say get down here, and like he'll pull you down, give you a sweet chin music on your way down. Or if he does the low one, he's like watch your toes, and he's like evil voice, and
Well,
then
yeah,
he
I'm
clotheslines you.
okay with giving him also, an air spear. Get down here. I
Mm.
did like that, but I wouldn't have that be like anything more than he pulls you in, and then um,
Yeah,
the
not a
sweet
combo starter, just literally
no,
kick to the
yeah,
face if you
that
fall
and a
over.
kick or a punch to the face, right? And then he just, you know what I mean,
Yeah,
knocks you back across the screen, something like that.
yeah,
Yeah. So I'm okay. Yeah, give him the get down here. I'm not a big fan of giving him the Hellfire. I just wasn't sure if how it would work with like how stupid it would be with setting himself on fire and now making himself faster. So I'm okay with taking away the Hellfire and giving him that
yeah,
instead, which might be better.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because
It
it'd be
just
a serious trade-off.
I don't know how to you have to be very particular in how that's balanced.
I would balance it by he's constantly losing health, but also he takes more chip damage. So if you get into a situation where I now have to block,
Yeah,
the
he's taking
damage you
chip.
get, he's getting significantly more chip.
Yeah. So it only lasts for a certain amount of time, and which you could actually have Scorpion do lights himself on fire, and his life will drain not fast, but not super slow either. Noticeable. So there's a noticeable trade-off. He takes more chip damage from you. His moves are faster, or at least his specials, some of his maybe not his normals, but maybe his special. So then it allows him like his demon dash will be the speed of his EX demon dash, let's say, right? So it allows him to bop, 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 demon, like the pressure right into the cancel
Hmm.
without having to spend the bar because he spent the bar to light himself on fire. You know what I'm saying? And if he hits you out of his pressure, you then become engulfed in flames, and then he's able to combo you. Or maybe not. He just hits you into the demon dash and cancel, and then because the demon dash is he's able to like combo you. You know what I mean? Because of the cancel advantage, and you're vulnerable off the hit, so he's able to then continue the combo that way. But
Yeah,
he loses health, and if you're blocking, you obviously lose whatever as well.
yeah. I
Yeah.
think that's a good idea.
So something in that range. But obviously it's only for. But then what you could do is you poke. You pressure. They block. You've lost health. They lost health. But you've also gained some bar. And now, even though your flame is gone, now whatever pokes or string you're doing, now you can still in the EX Demon Dash and still use the bar now to extend the pressure even further. You know what I'm saying? Because
Hmm.
your flames were gone. So now you have to use the bar. But you built bar because they were blocking, but they also lost life and you lost life. So
Yeah,
it's
I think it's a fair trade-off.
something along those lines. It's that's but I'm like, man, that's gonna be really hard to do, as far as like balancing it out, like in the game.
Yeah,
Sub-Zero, man, this character is really hard to decide because of what do I want to do with the ice clone? Uh, this was very difficult because
while you're
I look
talking about Sub-Zero, I'm gonna put something on the screen that might give you some ideas.
okay. I liked the ice clone in 9 because it could take the shape of every move. It was quick. Even when he canceled out of it, he was safe in most situations. But he didn't have any 50/50s. He couldn't use it as a damage multiplier like MKX, and it didn't block projectiles. So the projectile would still go through it and hit him, and he couldn't corner you and then ram out 50/50s. And then when he hits you with the 50/50, then explode the clone for obnoxious damage multiplier. So it's really hard. And then he can throw it at you. So I just don't know that you can balance something like that. But I wanted him to have a bunch of moves because I liked freestyle. So the ice clone will be an EX move only. Uh, will be an EX move only. That will be the ice clone. It will keep the shape of every move that the movie cancels out of. It can be done in air. His cancels will be very quick. You're not going to be able to punish them through it. But it's going to take a bar to clone. There's no non-bar ice clone. It'll last for like 2.5 seconds. I'm also going to give him okay. This is very interesting. I'm also going to give him the ice shower. Ice shower will have 4 versions basically. Ice shower with no button inputs after the ice shower will be right on top of him. Then ice shower close will be the ice shower command in forward, like in front of him. Ice shower at mid range, which would be like in front of you, would be ice shower and then forward, forward, and ice shower behind you would be forward, forward, forward. Likewise, ice shower command and back would be behind him. Ice shower and back, back would be mid range behind him, and ice shower and back, back, back would be full screen behind him. So I would give him that. He's going to have his ice ball is going to be like MK2 ice ball speed. Everything's going to be faster. Projectiles are going to be faster. Like everything is going to be faster in this game. So you're going to have faster projectiles. His ice ball will also be faster. The EX version of it will not eat your projectile, but it will be extremely fast and a beam that goes full screen and will freeze you for a lot longer. So while I may get hit with the projectile, you're still going to be frozen. Now the regular fireball, the regular ice ball will keep you will keep you frozen maybe 80 frames, something like that. Something to where if you're able to freeze them and block the projectile, you'll be able to get over for a combo, but on a trade, maybe you'll get a slide, nothing more. The EX projectile will keep you frozen for like 140 frames, maybe a little longer, just to ensure that no matter what, he's going to get comboed regardless of what projectile he trades with or what he trades with.
Right.
He's going to have ground puddle, which is blockable, which I'm not going to allow any version of the ground puddle when you're in the corner.
Oh, how would that work?
They could do it in MK2. They could do it now. They know how to do it in the coding, right? Because they did it in 1992.
Okay.
The EX ground puddle will be the MK2 ground puddle. It's unblockable. But the EX ground puddle will not be able to be done while you are considered to be in hit stun. I mean, in a combo state. In other words, because somebody will say, "What's to stop somebody from ending a combo with EX ground puddle?" And then they wake up on this unblockable comboing puddle, right? It will not be so, which means you also couldn't do like jump kick into it, or like any type of high. You can't special cancel into any ground puddle either. No version of it. Hold on 1 second. I gotta take this.
No problem. Now, guys, do you see what I mean when I say you can get creative with fireballs? I mean, this Iron Man part was unnecessary, but you can get very creative with fireballs. You don't have to just have fireballs pass through. This animation came out about 12 years ago, I think. I still watch it every now and then. I'm like, this is how you do fireballs in Mortal Kombat. There's so many ways to use them. Them just passing through each other would be such a waste. It's such a massive waste. What is this? This guy used to do animations between Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat, and they were always so good. He stopped doing it. I don't think he's on YouTube anymore, to be honest with you. It's a pretty good one, though. But I like the way he uses Sub-Zero as ice clone. It's a shame this guy don't do animations anymore. This is like the ultimate Marvel game. I don't know. I don't know how he did this so long ago. This must have taken so much time. So much time to do all of this. I can't remember who wins actually. I think Chameleon wins. All right, look at this. This shit is so sick. There's another one between Ryu and Scorpion that was really good as well. Yeah, I think Chameleon won. I think Chameleon beat Akuma. Which wouldn't happen, I don't think. Pretty cool idea though, right? You can look at this, and I mean, I didn't even get my ideas from this, but it jogged my memory. When I was talking about the upspit, I was like, wait a second, I've seen that somewhere before. Good times, man. I used to watch this on repeat all the time. There's Akuma. Oh, Akuma wins. I can't remember. Of course, Akuma wins. Does he blow up the planet or something? It's been so long since I've seen it. Let's get some sound.
Okay.
So it's animation is still going. Oh, Ryu sacrificed himself or something. Oh yeah, I used to watch those animations all the time. They were really cool. Really, really cool. But yeah, that's all I'm saying about the Fireballs, guys. I'm not saying that they should act like every other. I'm gonna fight this case, and maybe one day someone NRS will hear me, and common sense will win the day. Because this can't go on. Have you seen the What If series for Dragon Ball? I've read the manga. I've read the Otherworld tournament. The What If Otherworld tournament thing. Ryu survives, or does he? Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Oh yeah, while Tom is not here, I am going to be doing Virtua Fighter tomorrow. I'm going to do a Virtua Fighter stream. So if you haven't got the game yet, get the game. We're going to do a league. We might do a tournament. Might do a commentator. I'm going to do a 1st to 10 against Finty as well, because we're both new. We're both learning, so that should be fun. It's like the Akuma and Chameleon fight. Oh, no, I don't think I've seen that. Maybe I have. Maybe a long time ago. I can't remember. What's going on? EA not playing. How you doing, bro? But yeah, Revo is he? But the only thing that my character designs to Tom would be different. I'd actually turn Sindel into a command grappler. Her entire playstyle would be centered around her hair. I would make her my command grappler, or at least one of the command grapplers in the game. Should be in the middle. Should be a bit like a Abel, where he's a command grappler, but he's also got other utilities. And then I would have like Goro or Shiva, whichever Shao Kahn, be like the full grappler or the true grappler. But then I like the idea, but I think I'd make Shao Kahn like really, really brutal, like very, very sluggish, but very quick combos, high damaging, but brutal swings. You might get VF. Yeah, get VF, man. The great VF awakening has begun. I definitely think people should get VF. I'm having a great time with it. The only annoying thing is that like I go on ranked and it's a little bit of a ghost town. I ain't gonna lie. That's why I message people like, hey, do you want to play VF today? Everyone's always busy. So the only way I can actually play it properly is if I stream it, which is fine. You know, I'm fortunate enough to have a community that will come and play, but I've definitely learned a lot. I've learned a lot about the game, how to move. I still struggle with not backdashing. I get caught and you go into this like stagger animation and you get your ass whooped. But I've been coming up against some higher ranked players and beating them. I've been watching Tricky Eileen and Chad and Gentleman Thief and his name Chanchai, I think. And there's a VF resources page on YouTube that I've been following. It's really good. The VF tourney on PlayStation or PC. It's crossplay, bro. It's crossplay, so you don't have to. Doesn't matter which one you get on. Crossplay and rollback. But yeah, that will start tomorrow at around 7:30, 7:38, something like that. And we'll probably stream for 3 hours. And then what I want to do, because I really, really, really want to see Chad the Third's channel grow. The last VF stream that I did was really big. So what I might suggest to him is I might say, I'm going to do my VF stream from 7:30 until 10:30. And then I'll raid your stream so that the guys that are playing VF, they just come into your stream and you just continue playing VF with them. Because the idea is that you want all your peoples to grow, right? By the time VF comes out here, we want to make sure that Chad is a very loud voice in the scene, as well as some other people. And I'm not coming in there like some authority figure on fucking VF. I'm enjoying my time, but I would want to see people like him be loud voices in the scene, and people go to their streams and support them and all that. And then when VF gets here, we'll have loads of people to play. Right now, my goal is to try and populate rank, because that place is a barren wasteland. It's a little bit depressing. I came against the same guy 5 times, which was good because then I got to learn his playstyle and I started beating him. But it was a bit like, damn, it is. Right now, it's a Discord fighter, unfortunately. There's more motion on Bleach Rebirth of Souls, but that game's got like a very dedicated community. Like Bleach, you get the same guys, but they're always there. You'll never not have games on that game, but you'll fight the same. It's the same 50 people. Like I know all their names. I think I'm even in a group chat with them now on PlayStation. You can't play Revo players on Ultimate Showdown. Nah, you gotta get Revo, dude. Isn't it like £10? I swear it's super cheap. I feel like I got mine for £10. How much is Virtua Fighter? I think you could, if you upgrade it as well, it's going to be really cheap as well. How much is VF Revo? You can get it for $11.99. $11.99, bro. If you want to get the, I don't know what version this is, but there's an expensive version that comes with a whole bunch of stuff. Does it? I paid £10 and I've got all the Yakuza stuff and all that, so I don't know. But yeah, it's cheap. I'd add a secret move where Melina and Kitana just twerk to Vibes Cartel until the match ends. Someone get this man off the internet. You've been there for too long. That's a crazy. Where did you Vibes Cartel as well? That's so random. What would I do to Melina and Kitana? I mean, Melina has got to be the crazy character, right? Crazy rushdown. Kitana, I'd make her a bit more conservative. Maybe Kitana's combos have got more wall carry. She would predominantly be a weapon user. I'd have her fans. Who even said that? Can you not see the comment? My man over here, thirsting over Melina. Imagine that. That's a one and done, because you ain't coming back after that. She'll yam off your head. Who else would I put in my game? I'd want to put Havoc in there. I feel like Havoc, there's so many cool things you can do with him that people don't do. I'd like to have Havoc in there. I think he would be a really sick addition. Who was I talking about before? Oh yeah, Shao Kahn. I'd have Shao Kahn fight pretty closely to how he fought in the movie. It was like big swings, not much in the way of combos, just big swings. Reptile, yeah, Reptile's a mainstay. You gotta put Reptile in the game. I don't like the Reptile and MK1 too much, but I think the ability to switch between lizard and human is pretty cool. I'd probably keep that around. Anyone else see a blank screen? I hope not. Let me go on YouTube. Let me see. No, it's working fine, I believe. Are you calling me John Cena? You want MK to do a third strike style of 2D sprites. Speaking of 2D sprites, whilst we're waiting for Tom, because he is taking his sweet time, might as well show you guys the other animation that's really cool. Scorpion and Ryu. This guy's channel does not get enough love. Let's see. When do they start fighting? Yeah, around here. The animation is just so clean. Yeah, I watched this shit in I feel like I was in secondary school when I saw this. The guy that made this shit is so cool, man. I don't know where he came out with it, but see, you can do cool shit with projectiles. Don't let people tell you otherwise. There's always ways to push the genre forward.
All right, now I'm back.
Do you see that, Tom? Look at these combos. Look at the spear usage.
I see. But I
wake up spear, up spear.
I'm not doing wake up spear, man. I'm not doing OTG wake up spear. I'm not doing that, man. I'm not doing OTG wake up spear.
If they put him in a Marvel game, that would be cool.
It would be cool. So Sub-Zero EX clone is the only clone he can do. Ice Shower, he's got the multiple versions forward and backwards. He's got Slide, Ice Ball, EX Ice Ball. And the puddle, again, the puddles, neither puddle can be special canceled into, so you can't special cancel into them off anything. The puddles can't be done while the opponent's cornered. EX puddle cannot be done when the opponent is considered in a hit state or comboed state. But you can do still grounded puddle, when they're in a comboed state. So things like that. And you'll be able to do things like jump kick into EX ice ball because it'll be super fast and it'll be like a straight beam. You'll still get combos off stuff like that. He's no 50-50s, none at all. EX Slide has armor. Because of my input system, I'm removing the Mortal Kombat inputs. So you will not be able to do a crouching slide. It's just not possible because the Mortal Kombat input that allows it will be gone, the shortcuts. So I'm going to allow Slide to, at a very early point in its animation, go under all projectiles. So it's not like right now, I think the Slide is 16 frames, whatever it is, and it doesn't go, it's not considered crouching for 13 or 14 frames. I would have it on frame 4, maybe 3 or 4, maybe 4, consider it in crouched. So you still have to have some reaction, but you're rewarded for that and it will go under the fireball. I'm not giving this character a double special at all. I think it would be retarded. So I'm not allowing him to double up any of his specials. He's basically going to be more so a corner trapping character. And he could do things like, even in the middle of the screen, end a combo with something that's like a hard knockdown, or cancel something early with like puddle, with like ice shower. Or if he has like a knockdown that's like a hard knockdown that gives him giga advantage, he could shower right on top of you and then pressure. Obviously, you could armor. Some armor moves will put you straight past him, right? You know, but then he can do the ice shower on top of me, on top of himself, which would freeze you after you hit him. You know what I mean? So it'd be more of he actually has to know what the situation is. I mean, again, it's just something that you have to experiment with, because it can be stupid. I'm sure there's a million ways I have to balance it. But
would he use an ice sword at all, or just pure hands?
He would use ice sword. I kind of like the old 2-2 animation of like his MK9, where he would have that ice sword that comes out. Yeah. So I would have him put that in his in some of his moves. He would have his ice sword in some of the moves. Yeah.
I like the ice sword in Deadly Alliance has got the best design by far. Do you remember? Yeah. It was like it had all those weird things sticking out of it.
Yeah, it was good. The so Sub-Zero, I mean, obviously, like he'll have Omega corner trapping. The clone is going to cost you the bar, obviously. But then you're going to have all kind of combination of clones with ice showers, with, you know, it's going to allow good trapping anywhere, but especially in the corner. So, and clone will keep the frame, be done in air. It will, when you cancel or whatever move you do into clone, it will keep the move, you know what I mean, animation like MK9. It will not, you will not be able to shatter it. You will not be able to throw it.
How come?
Or maybe throw. I mean, it's maybe, it all depends on how stupid this is. Like if it's not Omega stupidity, then I would add that, right?
I would shatter. Let me throw an idea out there for his ice clone. If you ice clone in front of somebody, I would then give him access to a new move where he can sort of reach through the ice clone to grab you and then like sort of mash your head off of it. But if he reaches through the ice clone, it will obviously, if he misses, it breaks and he's open. So the trade-off would be you gain a command grab to put your fist through the ice clone and wring their head off of it. But if you miss, then you're free for a combo. It would at least look funny.
It would look funny, but I mean, I gave him a lot, man. You know, between the puddles, the shower, and the clone, even though the clone costs bar, so it's very limited in how you could use it. I think that I don't know. I don't. And then he's doing like a command grab.
Yeah, but it would only work in the corner.
Maybe, but dude, it's gonna be hard to get out of it. The corner.
Yeah, I think, but if he's a trap character, I think all of his tools should be pretty mid to bad until he gets you into the corner, and then he becomes a nightmare.
Or maybe you could use regular ground puddle in the corner, but not EX. I don't know how they would distinguish that.
I just think it would look hilarious to mash someone's head off of the ice clone by putting your fist through it and pulling them. Visually, it would be so good in tournaments. People would be laughing.
Command throw.
Only works in the corner.
Maybe I would give him like a Cyrex back one that's a high. And if you did something like that, it would put his fist through the clone and slam your face into it.
Yeah.
And it would break the clone.
Yeah. And if you miss, then you've lost your clone and you're open for a combo.
Yeah, and then you're open for a combo, yeah. I can do something like that. I can do something like that. But again, only because it's Sub-Zero and it's ice moves, people are going to say, this is dumb. Clone being a bar takes away a lot of the dumbness because you can't, abuse it. And the ice shower, you have to be very precise on how to use it. So ground puddle is EX has got a very, very short range. EX ground puddle, very short range, right directly in front of them. Can't be done when they're in a hit state or in a combo state. But it'll be fast, like MK2. Like,
Okay.
But short range, right in front of them. EX ground puddle, regular ground puddle will have a little bit more range, but blockable. But maybe you could do things like end the combo with puddle, so it's right underneath them, but then do an ice shower behind you. So if they try to get up with armor to beat the puddle or whatever it is, whatever you're doing on the puddle, they'll hit you, but then the ice shower behind you will now hit them. Just there's all types of trapping stuff you can do. And based on that, depends on if I would give him clone shatter or clone throw. Besides clone shatter or throw, I think I would give him what you suggested. So he couldn't shatter it he would shatter it by grabbing you through it and then slamming you into it and shattering it. Right?
Yeah.
I would do that.
I had an idea for Sub-Zero of how I would design him. It would be completely different to anything that they've done with him before.
Okay.
I'd make him a very slow character and he's a very defensively tanky character, and his power comes from trapping you in the corner. But I would make it so that every time Sub-Zero hits you with a specific set of normals, your speed sort of goes down because the ice is sort of freezing you over time. And he goes from being very defensive and slow to making you really slow as well and sort of backing you into the corner. But I'd make it so that the moves that he slows you down with are kind of hard. They're harder than normals to access. It won't just be any random move. And a good Sub-Zero player would be able to hit you with these particular moves. And over time, he'd be slowed down. So by the time you've actually been hit by them so many times, your body sort of turn a little bit blue and you look a little bit, you look like half frozen, and you can still move, but your moves are really slow. They've got a heavy weight and gravity.
What happens when you're so super slow? You're just that way for the rest of the fight?
I would make it so that if they hit you, it wears off. So there's a trade-off. So Sub-Zero starts as a tank and defensive, and he can slow you down. But if you hit him, then
one projectile hits him, and then it's gone. Like all that work.
Well, it would be a trade-off, right? If he hits you with 2 attacks, then you have to hit him with 2 attacks. You can't just throw one out to wipe it all out. It's a unique take on Sub-Zero, and it plays into his whole cold gimmick.
But it makes him more Captain Cold than Sub-Zero.
How's it making that Captain Cold?
Because Captain Cold had something similar with the thing, and you would begin to freeze the longer you were in the bubble, and it's something similar, only he actually has to hit you. The problem is you're going to have these power zoners that you're never going to hit them until they're cornered.
That's what you got the fireball for, or the ice ball.
It's going to be very difficult to do that even against power zoners.
Not if you add in the projectile clashing that I said, where you can freeze their projectiles and throw them back at them.
Well, true, but because I have not had that in this yet, that's where I'm going.
Yeah, and I like TMSA said, I'd give him very defensive moves. He'd have a very strong reversal. That reversal would add
Ground puddle is a defensive move. Ice shower is a defensive move, and clone is a defensive move.
Yeah, I don't think I'd have those moves in my version of Sub-Zero. Clone I would, but the other ones I wouldn't.
I really like the ice shower. I
like ice shower, but I think in my version of Sub-Zero, if I gave him that, it'd be too strong. Instead, I would give him an ice ball that goes up and an ice ball that goes straight. And the up one would make it so that they collapse into the ground and it's just a set amount of damage, but it would add to your like meter or your timer of you eventually getting so slow that you've been backed into a corner, and now Sub-Zero can really play his game. But it would be hard to get there because he's slow and he's defensive. Do you know a good way? If anyone wants to get an idea of what I'm talking about, if you play Bleach Rebirth of Souls, there's a character called Kira, and he's got a
It'd be
gravity
very
mechanic.
difficult for him to build meter, though. It'd be very difficult for him, being so slow. It'd be very and that would just cause him to like get 10-0'd by several characters who are extremely mobile, where you're just not going to be able to consistently keep them cornered.
Well, unless you make him a very high damage character as well.
But then that would cause. So the problem with that thought is that will make him that polarizing character again, like MKX, where he either 7-3s you or you 7-3 him, and I hated that concept.
I don't know.
Like, there's like no middle ground.
I don't know. I think in my MK game, the mechanics would have to be different in order.
With different mechanics, true. Yeah, if you change the mechanics, then yeah, it can be a great idea.
Yeah, I think. But even then, even if you don't, because Sub-Zero is a character that freezes you, I feel like they can play around with that kind of gimmick instead of just doing the same shit over and over again. The same way Scorpion burns you over time, why can't Sub-Zero freeze you over time?
Okay, I've got a better idea.
Okay.
This is why I would love to make this happen. I would love for NRS to say, pick a team of people. Come in, brainstorm with us, and let's whatever. Because sometimes my ideas, I might hear something else and I say, you know what? I've got an idea even better. And it's a combination of everyone else's ideas. So what I would then change.
Tom, just give me 1 second. Let me just tell Jay I'm streaming.
Sure.
Yo, Jay. Yeah, I'm on stream, bro. I'll call you back afterwards. Oh, yeah, sure. All right, safe.
So let me tell you the idea I had for that, but I didn't know how it would work. The idea that I had to slow people down. Hold on, let me get to that because I have some cliff notes here. So the idea to slow people down, I would have Clone, no ice shower. Unsure what I would do about Puddle. We can come to that bridge later. I would have him, much like Scorpion, engulf himself in flames. Sub-Zero would put almost like an Iceman ice armor on, right? Mm-hmm. And the sole purpose of this ice armor is as he hits you with certain attacks, you begin to slow down. So with this ice armor on, he is slower. However, the trade-off is as you get hit, you are becoming slower.
Yeah.
And my problem was figuring out a good way to shake that effect off of you.
What, as in, if I'm getting slower, how do I shake it off?
Yeah.
It would have to be. It would have to be a trade-off. So depending on how many hits I take, maybe instead of it being a timer, it can be like a number, like X2, X3, X4. Like you've been hit this amount of times, and you get to X10, and like the way Shundi's got his drinking mechanic in Virtua, the same way that he would get more dangerous to fight as you get slower. So he doesn't get access to new moves, but his moves become more difficult to deal with because you can't get away from them as much. And then as you hit him, you knock off the ice, so it goes from X10 down all the way down to 1 to 0. And also, I would get rid of his slide as well. I would get rid of slide, and I would replace it with this. So I remember this move from the trailer when Scorpion and Sub-Zero were fighting. I think it's this one where Sub-Zero does like a ground pound but it's a massive projectile that flies across the floor. I think he does it here. Yeah, I'd replace slide with, oh no, not that. This move.
That would be his, like a ground puddle type of move. I would do that.
I wouldn't have it as a ground puddle. I'd have it as a projectile that just goes low. So it goes under other projectiles. It doesn't allow Sub-Zero to move forward, so it doesn't change the, like, I'm a defensive character archetype, but it allows him to, it keeps Sub-Zero in place, doesn't allow him to get so close to you near a corner, and he still has to work for it.
Just on some of the zoning, it'd be very difficult without slide to be able to get around some of that.
But again, my version of Sub-Zero is completely different to what I've seen in the games so far.
The problem is the concept that I had a problem with is it's tough for me to take that concept and really visualize it, because, okay, he has this ice armor on, and I thought not only as he hits you, your moves become slower, you even fall slower, which will then give him combos that he otherwise couldn't get, in certain situations, because now you're falling slower because, you know what I'm saying? Just,
I would make them fall faster because they're getting heavier, right? The ice is slowing them down.
Man, that's going to make it tough on his combos then, because eventually you start falling so fast. So he has to balance, like, making you slow but not too slow. And then it comes to a point where how fast are you falling? Then his combos are significantly harder.
Yeah, but here's how you balance it. You make it so that they fall faster, but they get up slower, so Sub-Zero can set up an Oki situation. Right? Because they're freezing, right? So they're getting up really slowly.
This would be probably one of the hardest things to balance.
But how cool would it be? How satisfying would it be to play a character that starts off as like a low mid, and by the time he's got all of his shit off, he's like the best character in the game?
There's a lot of if in there.
You just need to get the right programmers.
There's a lot of if in there.
My whole Sub-Zero design is that he is a slow tank, and in order for him to start his corner game, he needs to work really hard.
But he's already worked hard to get you in the corner.
Yeah.
And if he gets you in the corner and he doesn't have any of those freeze effects, it's going to be very difficult for him to keep you there.
Why wouldn't he have them, though?
I mean...
Or is it he's just got you into the corner randomly?
Well, the clone is not going to stop a projectile, because you can't do things like make it airborne, keep it the shape of every move, even stay on block, because that's what I would do, because you wouldn't be able to break through it with, like, projectiles. You could just zone them right through it, not throw it, not shatter it. But, projectiles will go right through it and still hit him.
Yeah, I wouldn't have I wouldn't give Sub-Zero a clone. I would change it to an ice wall.
Oh, no. Hear me out. You lost me. You lost me.
Hold
immediately.
on.
Nope.
Hear me out. I wouldn't give him a clone. I'd give him an ice wall, because we're making a defensive Sub-Zero. So his ice wall
Captain Cold. That's You're making him Captain Cold.
No.
I don't want to make him Captain Cold.
Let me tell you how it's.
We're making him. He's going to slow you down. He's going to put an ice wall up. That's literally Captain Cold. Yeah, that's why I didn't go with that idea.
But the way it would function would be different. So you'd still have the ability to have that command grab to bounce the head off it. But I would treat his ice wall like an Aegis reflector. I would have it so that Sub-Zero can kick you onto a wall. You know the way Urian will kick you and you'll bounce off it for a combo? Yeah. I'd have it so he kicks you into the wall, you freeze. He gets an additional hit. And then he kicks you into, you freeze. He gets like an Aegis reflector sort of.
Captain Cold does a wall and kicks you. It'd be the same thing where he's kicking you with the wall, and then you. No, it's too much Captain Cold. It's way too much.
I don't remember Captain Cold playing like that. Captain Cold plays like Urian.
He had an ice wall.
Yeah, but how did it function?
He just puts it up. He doesn't like throw it at you. He just puts it up, and the EX one, he puts it up and kicks it towards you.
Yeah, my one would function differently to that.
Oh man,
I mean, are we saying that in the actual lore,
not getting rid
Sub-Zero
of the
can't?
clone.
Are we
No,
saying that he can't create warps of ice?
I'm not redesigning the character to something. No, I'm not doing that.
I want
Boy.
a fresh MK. I don't need the shit they've done.
He's already got these iconic moves. I want a fresh Ryu. What I was thinking is he shouldn't be able to do hurricane kicks and fireballs or dragon punches.
That's not what I'm saying.
What I
I'm not saying that because
I want a fresh Ryu, a fresh.
That's not what I'm saying.
A fresh one.
I'm saying that
what Ryu could be, he could be a slow defensive wall. You see Mike's face.
It's because I can't get a word out.
Do you see Mike's face right now?
It's because
I'm describing this.
It's because Mortal Kombat's gone through so many different phases. If we're gonna like start to build legacy, there's gonna be too much arguing over which MK legacy we should go with. Some people are gonna say X, some people are gonna say 1. I say take the cool powers that the characters have and start building something fresh and new that we have never seen before, and actually there's a level of depth to learn this character. This is Sub-Zero. He does freeze you, but in a very different way. And this is Scorpion, and he's very aggressive, but in a very different way. And then build upon that. There's too much MK legacy everywhere. No one's going to agree. Build something new that everyone can rally around.
You'd have to do that every character then, because it's like, why do they get to keep their legacy and his characters?
Yeah, I would redesign every single character. I have ideas for every single character. I would completely redesign them, but I'd design them around their pre-existing powers. You don't like my Sub-Zero? I think my Sub-Zero is sick.
I do not like it.
That's fine.
I mean, I agree with Mike. Yeah, if we have 5 years, I had to do this in 2 weeks. There's no way I was going to redesign every character from scratch in 2 weeks. So there's no way. And I hit them and they freeze. I don't know. You'd have to redo the entire system. And the system that I came up with, none of this would work. You'd have to rework the entire game system. So because I don't have that system in my mind the way you do in yours, right? It could work, but it just wouldn't work in the system that I've put together.
Yeah, and my characters work better in a 3D MK.
Well, in a 3D MK game, it would be much different.
Yeah, but they could work in 2D. They can work in 2D. You just have to tone things down because you've got less dimensions, less ways to get out of stuff. But I've always wanted a Sub-Zero that was a tank, and he had a very difficult...
If it was a 3D MK game, I would absolutely design him that way.
So what is it about being 2D that you wouldn't entertain any of it?
This game would be considerably fast. So Sub-Zero being that slow, it's going to be very hard to advance on you.
But just don't make it brain dead pressure. Sub-Zero will be a specialist character.
He already is a specialist character.
Not anymore. They've ruined him.
I would
MK9 and MKX days are long gone.
Yeah, but I'm not making him like MK1 and MK, whatever.
You want to see my redesigns for lame or dislike characters? You could throw a character name at me and I'll probably figure out something on the spot.
Yeah, you see, you're trying to make the game as un-Mortal Kombat as possible to make it something else. And I'm trying to make it as Mortal Kombat Legacy as possible.
What did I say that makes it sound like not?
You're trying to create a new Mortal Kombat to build off that legacy-wise. Whereas me, I'm not.
But what legacy do we go with?
Well, in a 3D type of game, I would do something like that with Sub-Zero. Clone, I mean, he wouldn't even have the clone in a 3D MK. I see no reason to give him that. I would not give him that at all. If I would have designed a 3D Mortal Kombat, there would be radical changes to Mortal Kombat if it was 3D. The only reason why I didn't say that is nobody's going to go for it.
Maybe if they do a re-release, the 3D collection, and people
nobody's going to go for it.
They start to get a bit cultured and they see that 3D MK's got so much potential. Maybe we could get
if it was a 3D Mortal Kombat, there would be radical changes. Like it would not, yeah. More MK9 movement, like early days of MK9 before the dash nerf.
Let me just read these two out. Street Sharks, thank you for the $5. Thank you, my lord. Oh, this is the medicine guy. Yes, I get it. Thanks for the donation, bro. Don't know what to say, but I appreciate you being here. Buck Schneider, thank you for the $5. What if it's an ice beam instead of that you hold, and after making contact for a specific time, you freeze them? On initial contact, you slow them down. That's a cool idea. So like you shoot a beam of ice and you hold it down and eventually you freeze. If you just shoot a little bit and then a little bit slower.
That's something that we'd have to experiment with. Like it's tough to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Next character I'm gonna, but again, if it was a 3D MK game, a lot of stuff Sub-Zero would do would be much different. And I would really like the concept of him, you know, these really good, even if it's just like single hit normals that just slow you down, you know what I mean, over time. So now eventually, you know, he becomes faster than you. And maybe it doesn't, there's no way to reset. It just resets every round.
Okay.
You know, and there's so much you can do. Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance is my favorite Mortal Kombat game, and I really feel like there's so much more you could do if Mortal Kombat went 3D.
Yeah.
Problem is, most people don't have a memory of Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance. Their memory comes from Deception, Armageddon, maybe MKDC. So that's where they're going when you mention 3D MK. And the first reaction is absolutely not. You know, me coming from Deadly Alliance, I see a lot of that foundation as being excellent. But most people, they're like, oh my gosh, 50-50 fest, everything OTGs me. That's where their mind goes, which is why so many people are adverse to the 3D. I would do that.
See, Foxy gets my idea. Foxy gets it. It would be such an interesting mechanic to give Sub-Zero. Because then you're literally freezing. He's freezing your frames.
I'm not opposed to that idea. I just finding the right way how to do it will require some brainstorming.
Yeah, they would need to have pro players come in and test the character.
So my original thing was he would, much like Scorpion would put himself on fire, Sub-Zero would do something to that effect, right? So I would say that Sub-Zero still moves normal speed, but when he puts himself in that whatever, it now makes him slower because he's now more frozen, right? But in that state, when he hits you, he begins to slow you down. The difference is when he unfreezes, he's now faster again, but you're still in that slowed state.
I don't know if I'd do that. I don't like the idea of doing that to Sub-Zero. Because I don't want it to be similar to Scorpion. I want it to be totally different.
Maybe there are specific moves that he hits you with.
Yeah, it would be specific moves. It couldn't just do a down one and get a big, get a thing added onto the freezing icon or whatever. It'd have to be specific attacks.
This should be very difficult to test, though, because what I want to avoid is the MKX scenario, to where in these matches here he's obnoxiously stupid. Don't even play the game, you know, like a Sub-Zero versus Jack scenario. It's like it might as well be a 10-0, you know, or in so many other characters where they just can't move, they can't do anything. But then in these characters now it's like Mike, this is like the worst thing known to man for him.
Mhm.
I wanted to avoid that polarizing situation.
Yeah.
Which I don't know that there's a way to do this without that.
Well, my way of doing it would be that he'd be a very high execution character. He would be very, very mid to bad to begin with, and only really skilled players, like I guess you or Foxy, would be able to access that higher level of damage or opportunities. He would not be a casual friendly character. You couldn't pick that character up and do those things on day one.
We'd have to brainstorm. It would take several of us to really sit down and brainstorm this to do this right.
Yeah, we could do a roundtable one day.
Because so I had it, obviously with like an ice something on him to do it, where certain moves would do that. I was also thinking the problem that I had when I was thinking about it is, and like I had, my version was not the clone hitting you in the head. When I was trying to come up with an idea similar to what you're talking about, I had things where he would like grab you and his head would freeze and he would like headbutt you and the ice would shatter off his head, doing moves where parts of his physical body would get ice on them and that move would be slowed down, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he'd have specific normals that were slower because he's freezing himself when he hits you. But in doing so, when you get hit, you're now getting slower. So I said the falling would be slower, but Foxy has a great idea. The recovery on your moves would be slower too. So move -6 is now -8. So maybe attacks you have that are very abusable to like keep out moves because they're super safe can in some situations now become super unsafe because of how slow you are.
Yeah.
So I was thinking like you'd have like these certain moves where they're slower because he's freezing his hand when he punches you, right? Or freezing his foot or his leg when he kicks you. Things like that. A movie grabs you and headbutts you with his head, right? But all this stuff is just freezing you more and more. Like when he hits you with the punch, the ice shatters off his hand, right? Because he hits you. But now you're becoming more and more frozen as you're getting hit. And these moves are slower because just got ice on his hand or his leg. So they're not going to be full speed.
Yeah. Sub-Zero would be a snowball character. No pun intended.
I just couldn't find a way in my head in that short period of time to figure out all the ins and outs of how that would work.
Yeah. And someone said they feel Sub-Zero should be casual friendly. I'm actually against main characters being casual friendly.
I'm against Sub-Zero being casual friendly.
And Scorpion. I don't think they should be either of them. I think they should do what they used to do with like the Mishimas or Akira and Virtuefire. The main characters, because everybody likes using them, they should be locked away behind a skill gap. So it gives other characters more exposure.
Yeah. Yeah, so this thing with Sub-Zero, that's where I started going. I was thinking in my head of a headbutt where he freezes his head, it shatters off of you, like a punch or whatever it is. It's slower, but he hits you and you begin to freeze, or like a certain limb will freeze or whatever it is. So moves you're doing with that button become slower, so you get a cool hit effect of like the ice shattering off. And these moves become better and better the slower you get. But then the problem was, I was thinking the complaints people would have, regardless of how hard it is, when you're cornered, slowed, and then the ice clone is out. I just thought people are going to just complain so much for nerfs. And even if NetherRealm brought me in to design that version of him, they would patch him without asking me a single question and butcher him, because regardless of the skill gap, people would just say, this is stupid, even though it's high level, like Tom is doing this to me, or Foxy's got me cornered and I'm slowed and I'm the clone and this is so dumb. And NRS would just obliterate him into the floor after that.
Yeah, well, NRS they need to learn to let things play out a bit, because they need to understand they've got a massive casual player base, and respectfully, casual players they're obviously gonna bitch about a character that is doing a lot of crazy shit, but there would be holes in Sub-Zero's game. There'll be ways to beat him. I think they need to pump the brakes on reacting to everything on social media. That was pit about it. Obviously, that's wishful thinking.
That's just where I had it in my head. You know,
Yeah.
like I'm like, so originally that was my original concept, and I'm like, I liked the idea of him just being just a defensive like powerhouse, and zoning characters were going to be difficult for him, as is par for the course with that style of play of Sub-Zero. But then when I was like, what is the reaction of a player going to be who is slowed and then does a move that's normally safe, but now he's punished for it, and now he's knocked down, cornered, slowed, clone is out. Like the reaction to that is going to be just get it out. That's what I was worried about.
Maybe. I guess if they ever do
I
see
do like
this,
your idea of the punch through the clone instead of my freezing his head and headbutting you. That's a much cooler, and then the clone shatters.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd definitely be something that they'd need to sit and test for a while, because it's a bit of a out there design.
It'd be.
Who have you got next?
So, hold on. Here's my original Sub-Zero design. So the original one that I had, he would have his ice ball. The regular ice ball doesn't freeze you for a combo, but it's very fast. And when you get hit by it, it starts a slow effect, not to the same extent as you getting punched by something. You know what I mean? But the ice ball slow effect wears off without you hitting him. It's just a temporary slow, right? So when ice ball hits, it's a temporary slow effect that goes away on its own. Then the EX ice ball, which is like this straight beam, it actually freezes you for a combo. Then I did have slide, and EX slide will have armor. Regular slide will special cancel into EX ice ball, or just regular ice ball. I mean, I don't know. I just don't want an armored launcher, so it could be EX, the armor version that just cancels into regular ice ball, which just gives you more of a slow effect. I don't really know how to, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if a defensive player, if I should give him a double special, he would be defensive. So giving him this slide that can go into a combo situation is probably not a good idea. You know what I'm saying? But I would have slide. EX slide has armor. They decide which side. EX slide decides which side you want to end up on, forward or backward. I had these normals that I was thinking of, like he would have like his something similar to his 2-1 in either MK9 or MK11. Where the purpose of this 2-hit string is not even to combo you, is just to slow you. Right? So you do like 2-1 and you're like frozen for a second. He doesn't really get like a combo situation off of it. But you're slowed, you're standing, and he's able to like poke you, put a strike throw situation, right? Where he's either going to throw you, and the throw would be like his like skateboard throw to put you more to the corner. You know what I mean? Where he grabs you and he slides on you, which puts you more toward the corner.
Yeah.
Or if you try to get out of the throw, he's just going to hit you again with something else, and it's going to continue to, you're going to be slowed more. You know what I'm saying? Like a situation like that. Cloned would be fast. it would be I didn't have it shatter it or throw it to you. I do like the idea of him shattering it. I'm going to steal your idea of him have something where he does something in his hand, it gets like an ice hand, it breaks through his clone, and he slams your head into it. I really like that idea. And it becomes safer based on how slow they are, right? Like if they're not slow to the appropriate speed, it is tremendous risk on his part, but it becomes less risk based on how slowed you are, right? In between each round, even if you haven't gotten the slow off, you gain, if you just die right there at like, you 50% of your slow is removed to start the next round. Like you earned the corner position. I don't want to start someone like in a handicap spot, but I don't want to remove it all because they haven't even, you know what I mean? So I would remove 50% of the slow in between rounds. And that's the idea I was playing with. Clone can be done in air. It wouldn't go away on block, but projectiles zone through it. It keeps the shape of your moves, but it doesn't block projectiles. You can't shatter it or throw it, but you can have moves where you can, like something like that, where it will grab them and shatter it that way, which is kind of weird because how is that going to happen if it's not a solid object? It's kind of stupid. Like, why is there a projectile going to go through it, but he's slamming your head into it?
It'd be difficult to balance, but there's Sub-Zero you can do a lot with him.
I also have here as a side note, this was my original idea for Sub-Zero before I thought nobody would let it fly. Clone in air, because it's a thing of ice, would fall and there would be like shrapnel. So like he could jump in the air, clone over your head, and it falls down and hits you and shatters on you. And even if it's at a range near you, it would shatter and the shrapnel would hit you and kind of give you like block stun. And then he would get like a follow-up attack on block. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Something like that. But then I thought, okay, clone, then it will end up breaking on the projectile. So it blocks the projectile, can be done in air, and because it's a block of ice, is going to fall and shatter. And he's reaching through it and grabbing you and slamming you into stuff with your idea. And then you're just slowed, you're cornered. And I'm like, man, people are just going to say, get this shit out of the game. No, that's why I abandoned it.
They won't, because if they do it the way I'm thinking, it'll be so visually stunning.
So then I made this version here where I said, okay, I'll just do clone and puddle and ice shower, and maybe people will be more tolerant of that. Or if NRS has to patch something, it'll be easier for them to patch that because they know, give or take, how these moves work. A system from the mind of me, Mike Hollow, and Foxy Grandpa that we all come together and say, we all have a similar idea. No one at NRS has that idea. So when they patch it, it's not going to go well, even if they feel like it should be toned, right? And then someone else's mind who didn't conceive this is coming up with how it should be patched.
Yeah.
And then like the three of us are like, well, that's not, you know what I mean? That's not what we would do with it. That's the problem. Whereas if you give them like ice shower and clone and puddle and make the clone EX, it's just much easier for them to like know how to tweak that.
Yeah, but then you sacrifice the beauty in the game for someone that is incompetent in balancing.
Well, the problem is NRS is not willing to bring people like us in. So they're going to sacrifice that anyway.
That's true. That's true. All right, let's move on to the next character.
So we've got Ermac.
Burrito, me and Tom will react to it at some point. I don't know when.
Yeah, we need to. Burrito, I do have Gearus on my list of characters, but I didn't come up with anything because you're someone I would consult for that. A grappling trapping character is just not the way my mind works. So that is something that I would definitely, bounce ideas off Burrito for that.
It would be so easy to do Gearus. If you wanted to be lazy, just look at Gaara in Naruto.
I wouldn't want to be lazy though.
No, you just look at the Gaara template in Naruto,
okay,
and you're like, that's what you do with Gearus. He's got so many cool things he can do with sand. and also he's a time character as well. So you've got sand and time manipulation. That's such an easy character to just come up with shit on the spot.
That's true. Uh, then we've got Ermac. I'm going to give Ermac, teleport, EX teleport. EX teleport will just be like rush punches, like MKX, just extra whatever. Would be a little faster.
Which character is this?
Ermac.
Okay, I'll give you my take on Ermac when you're done.
See, again, you're going to go with another original idea. The problem is, again, I'm like, in inevitable patches, the same original free flow thinking is not going to be there. It's going to be the same tired thinking that's going to be patching this stuff. That's
you got to take a risk, because then you got the same tired MK game.
Well, are they? They're not going to bring people in to do this right. That's the problem.
They might. You never know. Things might change. They've gone over to another company now. Things might change.
Nope. Well,
I'll tell you what my idea is anyway.
They're never gonna do that. Give me your idea.
I would turn Ermac into a puppet character. I would make it so that because his whole thing is we are many, you are one. So why not use his many abilities like a puppet character? I would have it so that instead of having the EX teleport like he's had for so many years, he would have the ability to, in like Marvel games when you get crossed up, you've got that like, I don't know what they call that, proximity blocking or whatever, where it makes it so that true infinites or unblockables can't exist. But instead of having an EX teleport, I would teleport one of the spirits out of him that appear behind the opponent. So you've got Ermac here and this character here. So Ermac would be another character that's like high execution, because you've got to control two characters at once. It would fade away after like a short while, and then you would use other characters, other souls like puppets. You ever played BlazBlue, like Carl Clover, where he's using the puppet and also fighting at the same time? I would turn Ermac into a puppet style character, but it wouldn't be like puppets on a string. It would be controlling ghosts.
My original idea for Ermac, which again, for the same reason why I subbed out my Sub-Zero idea, was I had in my mind, not like Yun's Ganagin, but I thought of like, wouldn't it be cool if Ermac, I started out thinking like, man, I don't want the same tired combos. Bop, 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 lift, bop, jump kick, teleport, bop, 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 push. It's like we've seen that movie 100 million times, right? Which is what I went back with to be safe. Because it's NetherRealm that's going to be balancing this. My original thought was I had an idea, I'm hitting them, and then he does almost like, Yun with the Ganagin, right? And then like another spirit, like whatever, comes up behind him, right? And I'm like, he is one of the souls in there is King Jared and whatever, right? So I would make it so Jared would be one of the spirits, right? And I'm like, and what if it's like you as Ermac and then King Jared, but you lose some of the moves as Ermac because King Jared is doing some of those moves. So like Ermac's original toolkit consists of XYZ moves, but some of those moves are King Jared, right? So now you're going to split, and Jared is doing some of those moves, and you have access to these moves, but not those moves, right? Because now his soul is no longer in his body. And I was thinking of that, and I said, because originally I just didn't want the same. I'm like, it's just the same tired thinking, right? What would Ermac do with the same? He would do whatever into his lift, right? And then whatever his combos he's going to do. And then, which is, we've seen that in every MK game, right? They'll fuck that up.
Let's go on the assumption they won't fuck it up.
Okay, well, and the assumption that they won't fuck that up, then I like the idea of Ermac having this set of specials. I was not going to give him a lift or a push or a teleport. I'm like, just give him a whole new set of specials. what I would do is he would do a move in which, he activates like the souls that are like around his body, right? And let's say Ermac is combined up of all these souls, right? And he can use these souls in different ways. And it could be, he could just throw like a soul ball at you, like as a projectile. Or he could throw it, and while he's throwing it, he can cancel it with like an EX, and it just stops where he wants it to stop as like one of the souls he threw, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now that soul is fighting you right there and allows Ermac to move. But he's losing access to some of his moves because that's from that soul when it was part of his body, right? Or he can start a combo state and do something to where like you're in hit stun, he splits, the other soul is behind you, and that's the actual combo. He can have ways to do it, different ways to do it in pressure situations where it's not like, I don't want it to be something as tired as poke, poke, poke on block, and then special move, and then it comes out. Right? That's too easy, right? I want it to be like a way to set that up. I just, I was thinking of ways to do this. And then I just stopped and said, they'll end up patching it and it's just going to be fucked. So then I went back to the same.
No, we should work with the assumption that they're not going to fuck it up and just make
cool
man, characters.
You must not know.
No, but we have to assume so we can make good characters.
Well, yeah, I like that idea. And I like the idea of, instead of a lift, I liked the guy, like his push. I liked the guy grabbing you and keeping you upside down, right? Whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
But not in the form of a lift. I want him to actually like call the soul down. You know what I'm saying? Or like he would do like an air soul shot and the soul would grab you and hold you upside down, like an EX1, right? And then he could start whatever combo, and then while he's juggling you, he like the other move, EX move, and the guy comes out to the other side. So this I actually gave this idea to Johnny Cage. I thought about it with Ermac first. Where what if his bar can turn into almost like an Alpha 2 custom mover, or like Vism, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where the bar turns into something like that. And then he calls whatever of the souls he can call out. And they're both like whatever during the length of this bar as it runs out, be it for pressure or combos, right? Which gives them more original combos, which more creative combos where you kind of make it up, which gives people more creativity. But I took that out and I gave it to Johnny as like star power instead, where he's like doing like a Vism combo or like a whatever. I really liked that idea for Ermac of being able to do that and using the souls that he absorbed, that he's made of. I mean, but in doing that, the problem is he's a puppet character. People are going to think about MK1 Kenshi at his prime. They're going to be like, it's no different than MK1. And they're just going to, and NRS is going to do NRS patching things. And then this great original design is in the toilet.
I think that you can take the same design and do it in different ways to make it more digestible to people. Like my idea of Ermac was a puppet character, but my idea of him was more rushdown. I wouldn't even give Ermac a projectile. I would make it so that he is in your face and the many fighting styles that he's using. So the primary version of Ermac, let's just give him a random fighting style. Let's just say he does like standard karate. But then one of the souls that he has access to from round start knows judo. So it's got a really odd fighting style. This character, I would make him visually noisy. So he would be one of the only characters where I would say he's quite mix heavy and it's hard to keep track of what he's doing. So if you go for like a karate kick, but then the soul you have access to knows Krav Maga, the animation, like say he goes for a kick, the green looking soul whatever would go for another move, and you got to keep track of that. And it could be a thing where he gains access to different souls as time goes on, and if he gets to the point where he's got like 5 souls, he would have access to these 5 different fighting styles in one character, and it would be a really mix heavy rush down character. I'd give him no projectiles. I'd get rid of a lot of the stuff. I'd turn him into almost a puppet style character. You could even have with the puppet stuff, you could have the other soul on screen, the other fighting style on screen. But this is also something you could kind of give to Noob Saibot as well. But I would prefer Noob Saibot as like a mid to long range zonings type character rather than Rushdown.
Yeah. I liked Noob as more like a trapping character in some ways. I liked the MK9 portal design, and I would do a different take on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Ermac, I started to go that route, but I didn't explore it further because I'm like, man, this is the NRS community.
Forget about them. Forget about them. You can't design a character based off the cries of people that don't know anything about MK to begin with.
Well, my worry was when they go to tweak it and patch it down the line, they would be using this design, but they would do something to just completely kill it.
But the assumption is that these designs are only conceptualized because, like, let's say me, you, Foxy, and whoever were there, and the people that we worked with also understand the design on a deep enough level. They're not just brought in to like change frames or change animations. So we're designing this under the assumption that NRS has not just hired any Tom, Dick, or Harry off the road to change what we've put forward to them.
Yeah, so again, my original thought process was I just thought about whether it was a separate mode he entered into, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Where now he's got him and like a spirit fighting alongside him, and you can vary where that spirit is in the situation, you know what I mean? Yeah. Something like that. But I was just like, they'll be like, oh, we did something like this with Kenshi, people didn't like it, and they would just, abandon it.
Well, let's just assume they wouldn't. Whilst we're throwing these names out. But okay, what's the next character that you had?
Yeah, well, the conventional Ermac, by the way, has like teleport, EX. And now I like the other version better, but I'm just like, man, I don't want to go explore that option more because I just know they would never do it. We can say that's what should be done, but I was thinking more of the lines of, let me do what's actually possible.
No, that's not cool for game design.
No, it's not. But again, you have the same tired way of thinking there, and they're not going to shake it up. Hold on one second.
See, Tom's not thinking broad enough here. Which is the problem. You can't go off the transgressions and mistakes of the past to shape the game that is meant to carry us into the future. You've got to make a game that is fresh. It's got a new take on MK, or like it's taken designs from before and it's spiced them up. Like, what character are we gonna move? Probably gonna move on to Noob Saibot, right? I think Scorpion's design in MKX would have been excellent for Noob Saibot. Is it the Inferno one where he can summon things out of the ground, summon things from the air, summon things from behind you? That's perfect for Noob Saibot. You just expand on that design a little bit. You've got a winner there, in my opinion. Make those tools a bit stronger because they weren't great in MKX. And make it so that he is fighting with his clone. It's the same fighting style, but he's fighting with his clone. I would like to see that. I mean, that's what they did in the film as well. The clone was like teleporting into different places and coming out of portals. How would I do Scarlet? Scarlet, I would make a high risk, high reward character. So because she's all about that blood magic stuff, I'd give her the ability to I actually, you know what? I would give Scarlet the ability to I'd give her blood bending, like an actual blood bending mechanic in MK. And I would make it so that she is able to use the blood that she has, like basically, you know, the blood that they beat out of you in Mortal Kombat, and there's like blood on the floor. I think the more blood that is on the stage, I think the better the character becomes. Like, so let's say, you know, in the MK movie where Sub-Zero, the first MK movie that came out recently, where they're in like the shopping district or like a restaurant or whatever, and he shows up and he uses like the weather to sort of like, he sort of brings everything up and he slams everything down. You could do that with blood, with Scarlet. You could use it for health gain. Let's say she wants to use some of that blood to get her own health back. She could use it for special moves. She could use it for a power up on a particular attack. I'd give her blood bending techniques. I'd make it so that the more blood on the stage gives her access to different ways to use her abilities. So when the match starts, she's kind of like basic. She's like whatever, but she, you know, she punches you. A bit of blood flies on the floor. Her meter might go up a little bit, and then it gets to a point where now you're just doing.
Couple things we have to do.
Huh?
So my girlfriend got in a car accident, so I have to go pick her up.
Oh.
But you know what? She's okay. Ladies swiped her, hit her into the garment, but it messed her tire up. It can't drive. It's the tire's like bent inward, she said.
Yeah.
Real quick, I'm going to redo all these characters.
She's okay, though?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to redo all these characters and do them all with an original thought.
Okay.
By the way, the first thing I thought of while you were doing you were thinking about the punch, right?
Yeah.
Hits the ground for Sub-Zero. What if the punch hits the ground and the freeze goes like this, and then it can turn in, it has an ice wall go up. Like behind them or in front of them. So he can make his own corner, or he can stop you from advancing.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. That helps him with his defensive play.
Or maybe like instead of a ground puddle, that move would be an ice wall that just goes straight up and you can't pass it.
Yeah, maybe when you come back, we'll explore that idea. But it's hard to think off the top of my head. But when you come back with these character ideas, don't forget about NRS's incompetence. They gotta be fresh MK characters.
Okay, so because there's so many. By the way, there is one thing that is non-negotiable.
What?
We know how Kerry Tagawa is the perfect Shang Tsung. Every Shang Tsung should be modeled off of him. I found the perfect Kano.
It's the one in the movie, right?
Nope. They had it wrong. That guy should have never played Kano. You know who should have always played Kano?
Who?
Karl Urban. I would have Kano. I would literally have one of his entry. Here's why I said Karl Urban. Because first I was like, you know what they should do? As the guest character, they need to put Butcher in the game.
Right.
And how sick would that be? Like main stage tournament, they're doing the intro, and he breaks a wall and he comes in with his crowbar and goes, "Evening, cunts, daddy's home." Like, bro, the crowd would go wild, right? That's how Kano should talk. That's how. No.
The new guys.
Karl Urban needs to be Kano because they're not going to put Butcher in the game. That's not. They should have done it last game with Homelander. Karl Urban needs to be the inspiration for Kano.
But what's wrong with the new guy?
No, man.
No's not an answer. Nope. What is wrong with him?
He's not Karl Urban. No way.
Okay, no, but what is okay? So it's just that he's
I
not
would
Carl Urban.
Kano is. I would make Kano after the Billy Butcher character. Yeah, I'm going to get her. I would. I would have. I thought about that. I was like, man, I would have Kano do this. I wouldn't have him do any of these old Kano, whatever. But yeah, Ermac was one of the first characters I did. I did Ermac and Sub-Zero first, and the first thing that turned me off is the same. I was thinking of Ermac's combos, and I'm like, man, the same bop 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 lift, dot 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 teleport, bop 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 push, and I'm like, it's always the same in every game. It's always the same.
Yeah.
And
That's
I'm
why I
like,
turned him into a puppet character.
should I redo these? And then I started thinking about with Sub-Zero, with the moves that have ice on them, and you're getting slowed, and the ice ball temporarily slows, and the EX1 combos, and then I was like, throw it away. It's never gonna work.
Mm.
And
Yeah,
I
man,
went with,
brave.
let's do ground puddle and.
Do you know what would be? Yeah, okay, you can redesign them, and then we can see which one of our redesigns lands more. Yeah, we can do that next time. Next time that you're free or something.
You want to do it on Friday next week?
Friday next week. I'll check my diary to see if I've got anything going on. But
yeah, let me know Thursday or Friday. I can do it either day. Just let me know.
All right. Well, just wish your girlfriend well. I hope she's okay.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. Sorry, I had to cut this short. But some of my idea, I do like the Quan Chi idea. I do think it's more original. Like I started going on that, and even Shang Tsung, I feel like it's not the same old tired Shang Tsung idea. And then when I got to Liu Kang, I was like, then I was doing like Sub-Zero and Ermac, and I'm like, well, I won't go for that. So we'll just do this. And then I went that route with every character.
But if you don't think NRS is going to watch this anyway, you might as well just go crazy with the ideas.
Yeah, I got some crazy ones, especially for Draman and Dairu.
Oh, you put those guys in.
Yeah.
But they better be crazy because
absolutely ridiculous.
All right. Well, you'll have to sell those two to me because I don't want to see them two ever again.
Yeah, you won't. You'll hate it. I can promise you that right now. I put the tombstone drop back in the game. You'll absolutely hate it.
That move was horrible. One of the worst moves I've ever seen in the game.
I redid it. Okay, I like the idea of redesigning every character then.
Yeah.
Because I only had original thoughts on like 4 of them, and I was like, what the fuck am I doing? Yeah. I'm like, this is not going to work.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah, next time we'll go over it. And then the final part of Combat Class we'll do, I'll say to you, you have to construct a story now. Act 1, Act 2, Act 3.
Okay. But I'm going to go into more detail on these characters then, since I'm redesigning them from scratch.
Yeah.
Why don't we do 12? Because if I'm doing 24, it's just way too much.
Yeah, 12 is fine.
So we'll do 12. This way I can get an extreme detail. Then we can do another 12 next time, and then the story.
Okay, that sounds good to me.
All right, let's do it. All right, let me know.
All right, man.
Sorry I had to cut out early, man. I appreciate it.
Nah, it's all good, man. Helps more important. Yeah, I'll message you.
Yeah. All right, later, Mike.
In a bit, bro. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. Did not anticipate Tom Brady's girlfriend catching a stray, but here we are. I mean, Tom's normally here for 3 hours anyway, so he would have gone in 20 minutes. So we've probably got Tom misses. I'll be done by 10:30, so got 20 minutes to burn. What was I going to say? Yeah, no, Tom needs to come back with a roster of characters that he truly wants to see in MK. Because MK's got the arcade era, the 3D era, and the current era, or whatever MK1 is. And I think there'll be too much fighting. I think the best way to unite the player base and start making, building legacy is make something fresh that is a play on things that came before it. So it's familiar enough that we're like, oh, I know that Noob Saibot can create clones and attack people, but I didn't know you could do it like this. I think that is the best way to go about it. You want Scorpion's deception design back. Yeah, his deception design was good. It was good. He definitely wants Su Hao. Yeah, I saw you guys saying design Su Hao. That one I'd need to sit and think about. Thing is, like you were saying, everybody hates Su Lao, but I'm not sure everybody knows why they hate him. But I do know that I don't like him. I'm nothing to Su Hao. I actually think what they did to him in MKX was the best course of action, but he's just a victim to Aaron Black. That was pretty funny. I thought if you're going to put him in a game, you might as well put him in like that. I can't think of anything right now. You would probably have to completely redesign the character. I'd have to redesign his personality, his story. Yeah, he's not a very good character design in my opinion. It's a bit wishy-washy. Am I the only one who actually prefers original timeline Kenshi than alternate timeline? I think most people prefer original everything in MK. Every MK character is easy to fix. Yeah, I think they've got enough powers that you can do anything with MK characters. You can literally do anything with them. But I think let me tell you what I think is going to happen. I don't think we're going to get an announcement for MK for a while. I think the next time we'll see MK, or the next time we'll hear about MK, is after Virtufiers come out. I bet you that NRS is going to look at what a Virtufier does. I think they'll look at what Virtufier does, and if that game absolutely slaps, we might get a 3D Mortal Kombat game. That's my headcanon. That's what I'm sticking to. I ain't trying to hit from nobody else. And we might get a 3D collection at that point. That would be very nice. Even if they don't go the 3D route ever again with MK, as long as we get a 3D collection, I'd be so happy. Give me a 3D collection. All you got to do, give it basic online features, give it rollback maybe. I would even take delayed base netcode and just make whatever MK game you want. I just want my Deadly Alliance with rollback on PlayStation. That would be a dream come true. Or delayed. I'll play delayed based. I'll play it. Fuck it. Asking for rollback is maybe too much. You hope VF shakes things up. VF is 100% going to shake things up. I mean, sometimes when games are coming out, people talk about them, but they only talk about them in our scene. They don't really reach the masses. But VF is being spoken about by everyone. Like everybody saw Virtufy and they saw what they put out, and everyone's like, oh, okay. So I really doubt that VF is going to come out and it's not going to be a hit. It might not be massive off the gate. Like I think it'll be way bigger than all the other Virtufiers that have come before it. But I think over time, that game is really going to pick up some steam. And don't forget, it's going to come out in 2027. We don't know if it's going to be end of 2027 or beginning. But if we assume it's at the end, that means that Tekken might get its season 4. But I don't think there'll be anything beyond season 4. Yujiro might be the last character in Tekken 8 for all we know, with the way things are going over there. So VF is literally coming into a world where it has no competition. Because Dead or Alive 6 has already put a sour taste in everybody's mouth. So Dead or Alive 7, it's not looking good right now. It is not looking good right now. DOA 6, I'm so disappointed with how they've treated that. So disappointed. No rollback. Has DOA 6 got crossplay? I don't think it has. I heard there's a rumor that they might put 9 new characters in the game. That sounds like BS to me. Doesn't sound true at all. But if DOA 6 is anything to go by, DOA 7 is not looking good right now. So VF might come into a world where Tekken is not as big as it was because, it's going to die off slowly and we're going to wait for Tekken 9 and that will take a while. And also Tekken 8 is a very polarizing game. There's going to be no competition for it. None. So VF has a real chance to solidify it as the 3D fighting game. It could actually happen. You don't believe the 9 characters thing? Neither do I. I saw it. I think people are just coping. Like, you don't put rollback in the game, even though it desperately needs it, but you invest into 9 new characters, even though you've got a brand new one coming out soon. That sounds like BS to me. So when I saw it, I was like, definitely not. I ain't going for that. I think VF will do well with the FGC, but fail with the general audience. I don't think so. I think RGG is very good at connecting with the general audience, which is why Yakuza is so successful. And I think they're going to take the Yakuza DNA and a bit of the Shenmue DNA, and they're going to put it into Virtua Fighter, and people are going to. It's going to be a Tekken 7 effect. I guarantee you. It's going to start off pretty well, and it's going to snowball. I reckon it will snowball because if they support it, like I think they're going to, they seem to be really putting their back into this. And to be fair, they really did support VF5. Like we always got updates for that game, whether it was like just letting us know what their plans are or an actual update. They have supported the game. And I think if what they've done with VF5 gets transferred into 6, plus all of like the modern updates, I can't see it not being a winner. I can't see it not being a winner. What's going on, Lexi? How you doing? Come right at the end of the stream. Got about 10 minutes left of yapping. Where's Tom? Tom's girlfriend had a car accident midstream, so he had to go and pick her up. She's okay. She's all right, but he had to run out. So we'll probably do a part 2 of this stream maybe next week, or I'll see in it. I'll see what I'm doing. VF5 when it came to PS4 was free on Plus. It had like 9 million downloads. Yeah, I remember they were saying that it was pretty crazy, the amount of people. Am I watching the World Cup? Well, I was meant to be watching it yesterday with my missus, but obviously C4 and Chad had that problem, and I was like, I don't, maybe we should resolve this now. And to be fair, it was the best possible outcome. They both have very strong personalities, and they're both very similar, and I think that's why they clash. But you can tell there's a lot of respect there between them. There's a good amount of respect. Oh yeah, have you guys downloaded Pokemon Champions? It's on mobile now, so now there's no excuses. Everyone can play. Everyone's got a mobile phone here, so you can download it for free and start playing. And you can play people that are on Switch. It's pretty sure it's cross-play as well. You can play mobile to Switch. I just got myself. I've actually constructed a strong team. I've actually got a team that I think will beat a lot of people. It's taken a while, but I've gotten there. I physically cannot. Why can't you download it? It better be comp though. What does that mean, comp? Yeah, look, I'll show you guys. Hold on. Let me open it up on my phone. Pokemon. Look. See? I don't know if you guys can see that. It's literally the whole game. And then you just it's literally the Switch game. So if you've got a mobile phone, download it. See, I've got the. Let me see if my actual team is, because I'm sure everything transferred over. Yep. I don't know if you guys can see that, but my whole team is there. So if you're playing on Switch and you're like, oh, I don't want to play on the Switch anymore, I'm going to go out and play, you just take your mobile phone. Is it a gacha? No, it's not a gacha. It's not a gacha. None of your devices support it. Oh, damn. Damn, I'm sorry, man. No, if you go onto the Play Store or the iPhone store, whatever they're called, just download it and you can just play people, and it works perfectly fine. I tried it out today. But yeah, I'm having a lot of fun on it. A lot of fun. It's really, really good. I was really surprised. I thought the mobile version would suck. How is it a gacha game? What? Okay, maybe I don't understand what a gacha game is. Explain to me how Champions is a gacha game. You're just battling. Like it's literally a Pokemon battle simulator. It's what you would do in the mainline games, but it's just literally it's a competitive Pokemon game. There's no adventure. You pick your Pokemon, you go into battle. That's it. How's the quality? It's perfect. It's crisp. It looks like a Switch game. It literally looks just like a Switch game. I was really shocked when I opened it. What game am I excited for in 2026? Stranger Than Heaven, day one purchase. Onimusha, day one purchase. Oh, 2026, sorry. Yeah, Onimusha, Stranger Than Heaven. I wouldn't say I'm excited for Marvel Tekken, but I'm curious. I'm curious about Marvel Tekken. Obviously, C4 plays it, so like I like playing games with my friend. I know he denigrated our Virtua Fighter. I know he denigrated it, but I like playing with my friends, truly. So I'm gonna get Marvel Tekken. Probably get battered by everybody, but I'll probably still enjoy myself. But Stranger in Heaven is probably my number one most anticipated single player game right now. Phantom Blade Zero. Phantom Blade Zero looks really cool, but I'll probably wait until it goes on sale. I'll probably wait until it goes on sale. For single player games, I tend to not buy them anymore. I'm just like, you charge obscene amounts of money and then the game's over in like 10 to 12 hours. So I'll get Stranger in Heaven because I know that RGG will deliver me a story that I actually appreciate. Phantom Blade Zero will probably be good, but I can wait. I still haven't got Resident Evil 9. I'm waiting until it drops in price. I'm like, I don't go back and play single player games. Very rarely. Like the only time I really do that is if it's like one of my top games, like Shadow of the Colossus. I can play that forever, and I'll probably start another playthrough on that. As a matter of fact, I was going to propose to my girlfriend that we play it together because it is so much fun and it's very easy to grasp. And I don't think she'd get motion sickness playing this. I think she'd be alright on it. So, yeah, multiplayer games are the only ones that I buy straight away because obviously I've got a community. We can play them together. What else am I looking forward to? Yeah, I think it's just Stranger in Heaven and Onimusha. Was there something else that I should be looking forward to this year that's single player? Get Persona 5. I've played Persona 5. The last Persona I actually played all the way through was free. Stranger in Heaven, not 2026. I thought Stranger in Heaven was coming out this year. Shadow of the Colossus is goated. I've bought it all 3 times. Same. So I got it on PS2, I got the remastered, and I got the re-release. You played Persona 5 and didn't get my reference yesterday. Yeah, I played a bit of Persona 5, a little bit. Couldn't really tell you much about it because I was not invested. It was a long time ago as well. GTA 6. I will get GTA 6, obviously. It'll be funny. We can play it together. It'll be a good time. But I'm not really a GTA guy. Not really a GTA guy. So like I'm excited because I know that when GTA drops, the excitement across the globe is going to be insane. So I'm excited to see how excited everybody else is going to be. And I'm excited to see what people's takes are. And I am looking forward to playing it, but I don't know. Like I feel like the world is going to be so big in that game that I'm going to feel a bit overwhelmed. I'm not a massive fan of open world games. That's why I like Yakuza, because it gives you the illusion that it's open world, but it's just really, really big areas with a lot of things to do in it. It's not true open world. I find people who dislike GTA weird. Sorry, I don't dislike GTA. What, have you got wax in yours? I didn't say I dislike it. I just said that it's not on my list of games that I'm super excited about. You should support Godzilla remaster while everyone else is on GTA 6. Godzilla's getting a remaster. Which one? I didn't even know. Maybe that went over my head. I dislike GTA because I want to be the cop instead. That would be pretty cool. I always found Yakuza to be better than GTA in certain areas. Oh, 100%. 100%. Yakuza does so many things better than GTA. So many things better than GTA. But I can understand why GTA is as popular as it is. The things that GTA does well, it does really, really well. Now, obviously, the new GTA is probably going to do everything that everything else is already doing. From what I'm hearing anyway, this game's about to change the landscape of gaming, from what I've heard. But we'll see. But Yakuza's got too much character, and there's too much like peak comedy and weird storylines, and then the actual stories they construct are really, really interesting. GTA storylines have never like been super captivating. It's just been more about what you can do in the open world. I was a big fan of The Getaway. I thought The Getaway was such a good game. Now, obviously, I'm a Brit, so I'm somewhat biased to that, but I thought The Getaway was awesome. And for me, GTA kind of peaked at San Andreas. GTA 5 was good. It was really good, but I wasn't as big of a fan as other people are. Unlike your favorite games, GTA is actually taking the time to give us a game that can last another decade. I don't know what game you're referring to, Lexi. Don't know what games you're referring to. Vice City. Yeah, It's between Vice City and San Andreas. You're right. It's between those two. They never recaptured that magic. But GTA 5 was good. I got a little bit bored. But I think whatever they put out is going to be good. Yakuza. Do you know how old Yakuza is? And they're still releasing them and they're still selling well. Don't speak down on Yakuza, okay? You know what you're talking about. Just look at Stranger Than Heaven. Look at Stranger Than Heaven. That's a Yakuza game. Let's not forget. It's set before the Tojo clan was formed. So even though it's not called Yakuza, it is a Yakuza game. It's just a new take on it. They're very successful games. They're beloved. Are they selling as well as GTA? That's a poor argument, because then if we use that argument, then because FIFA and Call of Duty sell more than, I don't know, what's a great game that hasn't sold as much? Devil May Cry 5. What is FIFA a better game than Devil May Cry 5? Or I don't know, whatever sports game has sold millions? Obviously not. That's not a good talking point. You don't know what Stranger Than Heaven is? Oh, Lexi, just don't let the door hit you on the way out, okay? Just keep it stepping. How do you not know what Stranger Than Heaven is? Are you living under a rock? This girl, man. This girl. DMC5 sold like 50 million copies. Oh, damn. Well, it was a good game. How do you guys... That's a good question, actually. Before we close off the stream, what do you guys feel about Tupac in Stranger Than Heaven? I'm curious about everybody's arguments about this. Actually, be honest as well. Be honest. When you saw Tupac, how did you feel about it? Was you like, oh, that's a little bit icky, or were you like, that's kind of cool, I'm digging it? Thought it was lame. Okay. Izzy loved it. Smash said that Tupac is crazy. Anonymous said weird. Flying Haze random. Do I think they're going to be overly ambitious in Stranger Than Heaven? Yeah, I think they're going to be very ambitious in that game. I think it will definitely have the Yakuza DNA. It's mad desperate. Okay, cool. All right. I'm glad you guys all said that. How do you guys feel? Actually, no, sorry. Do you think that it's weird and disrespectful to use Tupac's likeness in a video game because he's dead? Or are you guys worried about the AI voice? Am I going to play online with us or just story? No, I'll play story in my private time. I'll play online with you guys. Only if they're using it with AI. Okay, all right. That's the threshold, yeah? So how do you guys feel about them bringing out a Def Jam fighting game, a brand new Def Jam fighting game? Do you think that some of the rappers that have passed away, let's say like Eazy-E, Tupac, B.I.G., whoever it might be, whichever rappers have been killed, old school hip hop guys, do you think they should be excluded from the game, or do you think they should be put into Def Jam? provided this new Def Jam is going to have a story mode. Put them in, yeah. Now, if they put them in and they had voice actors do the acting, do the voices for them, but they used AI to make the voices sound like the actors, would you guys say, no, I don't want that? I'd rather they sound different to them using AI to make it sound like the character. It makes more sense for Def Jam. Why does it make more sense for Def Jam? I'm not trying to get you guys in a gotcha. Actually, no, I am trying to get you in a gotcha. Sorry, I don't mean to lie. Why does it make it okay for Def Jam? So it's the AI. It's the AI that's throwing you guys off. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I disagree. But that's fine. As long as you're consistent, because some people are not consistent. They're like, no, it's an outrage that his likeness is in Yakuza, but then they're like, no, put him in Def Jam. It's outrageous that he's in Yakuza, but Bruce Lee's a downloadable character in UFC. Like they're still using a dead man's likeness to sell the game, right? And obviously, Bruce Lee's going to sell units. And the other thing that really, really annoyed me is there's another character in Stranger Than Heaven that is using the likeness of a dead person. Does anyone know who it is? Because I was very surprised at this, because like I'm a fan of Yakuza, and I'm obviously a fan of that style, that genre. So when I saw the trailer, I noticed that there were two people in the trailer that have passed away, and they're using their likeness, but everybody hyper focused on one, and I don't expect everybody to know the other person. I did expect Yakuza fans to pick up on who it was. I don't know. Yeah, thank you, Izzy. You know who it is. I didn't know if people were being performative, or if they just got their wires crossed or something, because there's two characters in that game that are not the people are no longer with us. So I'm also like, well, Bruce Lee's in UFC. How much do people really care about this, or were people just bitching online? Which is funny coming from me, obviously. I know it's Ben Riley and Tokon Tag. Oh yeah. Man, Spider Noir on Amazon was chef's kiss. It was so good. Can't recommend it enough. If you haven't seen it, go and watch Spider Noir. I would love for him to be a Marvel Tokon. Even though it's like not my main game, just seeing him, Nicolas Cage likeness, it would be so sick. Yeah, the Japanese actor. His name is Bunta Sugawara. He was I saw him in the trailer, and I was like, wait a second. And no one said anything. I was like, well, I'm not going to say anything because I don't have a problem with it. Like, I think it's okay. But no one said anything. And when I saw Tupac, I was like, hold on a minute, guys. Yeah, Tupac's been dead for a long time, but this guy died in 2014. So where was the outrage, Yakuza fans? Like, you guys know who this person is. I mean, surely you know who he is. But there was no outrage. And I was like, this is performative. Now, someone said something online that I was like, maybe there's some truth to this. You guys tell me. And I don't mean to offend any of the Americans in the chat, but I want to ask a question. Because when I spoke to my British friends, they were like, bro, no one cares. Like, oh, I want to like Tupac's in the game. That sounds sick. When I spoke to Americans, they were very upset, and I was like, is there something in the water over there? Because the hypersensitive reactions seem to come from one place. I'm just looking for an answer. I ain't trying to offend anyone. I'm just asking, are you guys a little bit more sensitive to these sort of things than like you would say maybe the Brits are? He isn't black or American. He doesn't have the same attachment as Tupac. Okay, I hear it. I hear it. Even though I don't know how old you are. Y'all don't know me, but I'm gonna assume that you were around the Tupac days. Maybe you brushed shoulders with the man, shook hands, broke bread. We be having it crazy over here in the States. 37. Okay, you're older than me, so you would have grown up listening to Tupac as well. But my thing is that Tupac's music reached people all around the world, right? And I'm not gonna pretend like I know I know the intricacies of his lyrics in like "To Live and Die in L.A." and whatever. I'm sure like there was like real meaning, and it probably connected with people. But when I saw the outrage, I was like, damn, did Tupac father all of these people or something? People were so angry, and I was like, I don't know if it's that deep. Black Americans and UK blacks are different, just like the Caribbean blacks different from the Africans. No, I hear that. We're not sensitive. That's the difference. No, I'm playing. But I'm super excited for Stranger in Heaven. When I saw Tupac, I was like, oh shit, this is Snoop Dogg and Tupac in a Yakuza game. That's very interesting. I was personally pretty excited to see it. Don't like when AI is used. All I wanted from AI personally was for it to be the next big step in training. Like, imagine playing versus AI and it's teaching you to play a video game. Yeah, well, I mean, look, the way things are going, it's going to go far, far beyond that. We are way beyond that point now. AI is going to take over a lot of stuff, including things that we see in games. You're right, Mike. You guys are not as sensitive and you're smarter. I watched a video today about the 30 differences between Europeans and Americans, and education was one of them up there, and I was cracking up. I was cracking up. This was an American that was saying it, by the way, so it wasn't me. AI girlfriends are already a thing. Yeah, that's pathetic. That is actually pathetic. Brits are smart. Yeah, man. That's what I'm saying. It's not sensitivity, it's respect. Okay. But if his, so I know that his estate, people have been saying different things. His family approved it, the estate approved it, but apparently the estate are a little bit corrupt, and there's been issues with rights over Tupac because of the estate and who's in charge and this, that, and the other. But let's say theoretically that they actually, like, we get confirmation that Tupac's family said, yeah, no, we would be honored if you put him in Yakuza. Would then everyone put down their pitchforks and be like, all right, cool? Or is it because we don't know? We don't know if the estate are the ones that approved it themselves, and you guys are worried that like some business tycoon is profiting off of Tupac's name? You still think it's wrong? Well, at that point, we're just gonna have to agree to disagree. If something happened to me and the RGG came up to my family and they were like, "Can we put Mike in Yakuza?" and you guys started bitching about it, oh, you best believe that I'm gonna haunt you. Don't speak for me and my mother. If she says I'm going into a Yakuza game, I'm going into a Yakuza game. Don't speak. You don't know me. Not like that. That is incredibly parasocial. That's I think that's too much. Like, people getting angry on behalf of his family if they actually said, yeah, that's fine. How is that a disrespect thing? Now I'm confused. Because now that would be people speaking for his family. They would know him better than you guys, right? What are you getting upset about? Well, where's the disrespect? I don't understand. some will still have an issue with it. Yeah, I'm sorry, I find that weird. I find that weird. Tupac's family gets royalties for allowing it. No, there's monetary incentive to allow it. Yeah, I would love if some, God forbid, touch wood, that's pause, that something happened to me. I would want my family to make money off of my name. Yeah, I mean, like we all give our mum money, right? Our mums and our dads, and if we can help our families out, if my likeness can pay my mum's bills and I get to be in a Yakuza game from beyond the grave, don't be angry on my behalf. I'm sure Tupac is somewhere like, yo, guys, can you chill, please? Like, chill out. This game's gonna be sick. Mom's gonna get paid, assuming it's not the estate taking all the money and the family actually approved it. I just don't like celebrities in video games. That's a fair take. I think that's a fair take. My girlfriend said, "What about my bills, fat snake?" Obviously, babe. No. Obviously. No, you never said that. But well, you're coming with. If I'm going, you're coming with me. No. I'm taking Oscar with me as well. This one. She gets all her bills, but anyway. I can hear her. Yeah, she texts me saying, "What about my bills?" Babe, if God forbid something happened to me, yeah, and huh? You said goodbye. Yeah, you just said you wouldn't pay my bills. I didn't say I wouldn't pay your bills. You assume. All right, sorry, babe. I'll pay your bills as well. Yeah. I'm not an afterthought. It's all right. I didn't say you're not this. Anyway. Bushin Recap, thank you for the 99 cents. Super sticker. What does that mean? Or is that literally a super sticker? Well, I appreciate the donation. But yeah, anyway, I can't remember what I was saying. But yeah, no, getting mad on behalf of his family getting paid is crazy. Getting mad with the estate making money off of maybe you're like your rap icon. I get it. I hear it. I'm sleeping on the couch tonight. Babe? What? Am I sleeping on the couch tonight? No, she's too nice. She's put on an act. Although the couch is very comfortable, and we've got the cinema thing where they pop out, the legs pop out, and they recline. It's comfortable. It's not an L like you think it might be. Who would win in a rap battle, in a death battle, Low Tier God or the Act Man? I'm pretty sure Low Tier God would beat him from pillar to post. I'm pretty sure LTG is a pretty. He goes to the gym a lot. He seems like a. I don't think Act Man does. What kind of comparison is that? Couches are typically better than beds. I don't know about that. I've got a pretty nice bed. Apparently, Tupac's sister sued Tom Brady over mismanagement and other things with the Tupac estate. So who's to say who is really in control of the state today? That's fair. That's completely fair. But we're going under the assumption the family said yes, and people are still like, no, they can't do that. That's weird. But if it's a thing where the estate is profiting off of a dead man and there's beef with the family and this, that, and the other, then I can hear it. I can hear it. The Axeman does do martial arts and stunts. Yeah, but weight categories exist for a reason. I think if LTG and Axeman got into a fight, LTG would ragdoll him. Bushim Yucat, thank you for the $2. Would Clayton like to come onto your show one day? Yeah, Clayton's always welcome here. Clayton's always welcome here. When I was talking to him today, I was saying to him, look, you know, this situation was it didn't land exactly, but it did land pretty close to where we were aiming. And like the thing is, Clayton is genuinely a genius when it comes to breaking down fighting games. Like, he can genuinely come up with new shit in games that came out 20 years ago. He's that good at like combo structure and breaking systems down. And I really want him to focus on that, because Marvel Tokon is about to come out, and I guarantee you the community would benefit from him being a part of it. They would really benefit from him being a part of it. And the point of me doing all of these things for Clayton is because I think, even though he's not an angel, but neither am I, none of us are. I know people pretend to be holier than thou, but none of us are. But I don't think he's a bad guy, and I don't think he deserved what Rufus did to him. So the whole point of me helping him and going to bat for him was that he could come out of this and get back to doing his content. His content is good. I know his channel gets a lot of like demonetization. I know that's really unfortunate, but I've known channels to be like that, and then they get out of it. Like, they start to get their channels remonetized, or like they become more popular, or they go to another platform. He has a lot to offer the fan game community. He has a lot to offer the fan game community. I just wanted to focus on that. So I'll probably do that wrap-up video to say this is the result of everything. This is the damage that it caused to Rufus. Now, even though he denies it, we've got proof of it. This is where we're going with it. And then I'll probably like call the video conclusion with like a little asterisk next to it, because never know, something else might happen again. But for now, yeah, we are done with it. We're done with it. But the point was to help him get from point A to point B. It wasn't to drag this thing out longer than it needs to be. And trust me, with all the things that he sent to me, I could drag this out for a fucking year. It's that long, but it would be silly to do that. It would go against my idea of what we were supposed to be doing in the first place. Tupac's main move would be him pulling out a gap. To be honest with you, the only death battle that we need to be doing now is Yujiro versus Tifa. That's the only death battle that they need to do. Yujiro versus Tifa is the only one that we need. And the winner of the loser of that, the fan base is going to be mega salty, because it's been going on Twitter ever since. It's been going on Twitter ever since. I think that's the one that you go for next. And Yujiro, I'm sorry, Tifa fans, Yujiro takes that one. If you think Tifa can beat Yujiro, I have a bridge to sell you. Tifa would not fuck him up. Tifa would not fuck him up. Do you know what? Do you know what? One day I'll bring on Tifa fans and we'll break it down. We'll break it. I'll tell you why Tifa loses. She loses for similar reasons to why Naruto loses to Ichigo. Even though Naruto fans will swear blind. They will swear blind that Naruto can beat him. I'm like, he just can't. He just can't. But I've got plenty of bridges for you if you think he can. So maybe we'll do our own death battle, the Yujiro squad versus the Tifa squad. I think that might be funny. We'll definitely get Yaya on here. Because we know he's going to defend his baddie to the very end. Yeah, see, Lexi gets it. We'll definitely bring Yaya into that one. And we'll break down all their powers and whatnot. But yeah, okay, so tomorrow we're going to be doing the Virtua Fighter stream. So if you don't have Virtua Fighter, guys, it's very cheap. It's crossplay. It's rollback. Doesn't matter if you're on PC or PlayStation. You can get involved. We'll do a big lobby. We'll do league battles. We'll have Finty here on the mic as well. Me and Finn are going to do a 1st to 10. I'll see if Chad the Third is free, and we'll do a big thing tomorrow for Virtua Fighter. And yeah, that will be the stream to round off the week. And then next week we've got some other things going on, which I'll tell you guys about. The Unconventionals. The final episode of the Unconventionals will probably be when Chad gets to Taiwan, to be honest with you, because we still need to do the philosophy exam part 2 to finish that off. And yeah, we need to do Unconventionals. But yeah, that's the plan for now. So sorry about the abrupt end to this stream. Obviously wasn't expecting Tom Brady's girlfriend to get into a car accident, but as long as she's safe. And I will see you guys tomorrow. No, don't troll LTG. Come on, we're better than that. Don't do those things. But yeah, peace out, guys. Take care of yourself. See you tomorrow.